Yes, everyone, and welcome back to the Irish Hotspur with your boys Dave and Jack and special guests Dermotron and Philip Brady from THFC Till I Die as we build up to tonight's game at Fulham. Monday Night Football, the big one. They save the big ones till last and get everyone ready for the rest of the week. We win tonight and win Friday night. We can be 5 points clear come the weekend. So huge onus on us over the next couple of games to get the wins and over the line. Of course, it is a revenge mission tonight as well. But we'll start with you, Jack. How are you keeping, my man?
What gracious league leaders we are, Dave, that we let everybody else, go first, and let them play their games. And then we just wait patiently for our beautiful Ange ball. We've been very much restricting ourselves. And finally, we've gotten it back. I think I've gotten lucky today, Dave, or something might be in the air. I did envision or I have dreamt of a Pierre goal at some stage or a Pierre contribution. And I walked into McDonald's today after dropping something off at the post office, which was conveniently right next door. And with my Pierre jersey on, I randomly got like $3 off of my breakfast. So it's a lucky day, Dave. It's a lucky day.
Nice. $3 off. You can never go wrong with that. Every little helps, as they say. Dermotron, how are you keeping, my man?
Yeah, I'm keeping fine, Dave. Thanks again for inviting me on, Dave and Jack. Yeah, and it's Thursday. I'm happy. I'm buzzing. There's a spring in my step. And I'm doing my first ever stream with this man next to me, Mr. Philip Brady. I've never seen him before. Don't know what he's like, but yeah, he's some Tom Jones Irish impersonator, apparently, I've heard. So anyway, big up there, Philip.
You're with
and
you know what?
We like to bring the celebrities in. So Tom Jones, how are you?
You tell that gentleman underneath you, Jack, there, that I'll get him for that later, right? Yeah, I mean, what have we got? 16 days since the last match. I hate international breaks with a vengeance, although it looks like we got away with injury-wise. We might have got away with it. Hopefully we got away with it. So, yeah, it's going to be a big one tonight. Top of the league by 2 points if we win. Not that anybody's ever mentioning that. We seem to have got a complete blank from the pundits over the last few days. It's as if we don't exist. So let's show them tonight. Ange ball is home and dry, and we're going to win.
Absolutely. And a question I will be asking you all later on, what does Ange ball mean? So get your thinking caps on and prepare your answers for that. But look, let's see what excited people we have in the chat with us this evening. We have Georgie Hill. Hope you're doing well, lads. No Bissouma, no problem. Been level-headed all week, but Big Ange has me delirious. 4-1 to the good today with a Gil Messi cameo goal and a Viking assist today. Come on, you Spurs. I really hope we do see a bit of Gil Messi out there today. I mean, there's nothing better than seeing his luscious locks flowing in the wind. That seems to, drift across the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. There is no better sight. Paul O'Connor, big up, Paul, my man, absolute legend. He says, afternoon all. Big up, Dave and Jack. Hope you're both well. I have a prediction that in 6 hours, we will be back on top of the pile with a 2-point clearance. Soon to be 5 on Friday night. Big up, Paul. Absolutely love that, my man. He is pumped. Been texting about the game there the last few days. He's absolutely pumped. Big up, Donovan Oosterreicher as well, all the way from Canada. We got to start going into these matches with that elite mentality at home in front of a restless crowd, desperate for some Ange ball. I'm thinking a resounding 4-0.
Love it, Donovan.
Today. Absolutely love it. Big up, Donovan. Peter Aga says, big up, guys. I think we'll win 3-1 tonight. A lot of confident Spurs fans, which I like to see. Big up, Tim Kirby. We have Mr. Shafton in the house as well. And the silicone chip inside her head gets switched to overload, and nobody's going to go to school today. She's going to make me stay at home, and Daddy doesn't understand it. I haven't a clue what you're on about.
Gets it, though. The wiser head seems
that's from it's the lyrics from a song in the 80s.
I don't like Monday. I don't like Mondays.
Yeah.
Oh, what song? What song?
Yeah.
Tell me why. I don't like Mondays. What song, actually? Big up, Neil. Jazzy Fusion, been a while again. Find a way without Bissouma today. Absolutely spot on. Jazzy Fusion happening there. I love the way Jack just referred it to the grey-haired gang below us. Absolutely love it.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Yeah. Okay.
Big up, Ice. It is a compliment. It is. If I could be a silver fox when I'm older, guys, big up, Ice.
Yours with the hats on.
Iceman says, big up, fellas, and everyone in the chat. Seems like forever, but we finally have Ange Ball back, going for solid 3-0 win. Matters, Porro, and the Rum Bomb to get on the score sheet. Absolutely love that. I do hope Rum Bomb gets on it. Big up, Liam, as well, my man. Hopefully you're keeping well, sir. Scotty Hynam, great to see you. Long time no see. How's life? Big up, Andy. Just quickly, I see Liverpool crest there. Are you going to offer Everton a replay? Just curious. Just curious. That's all. That's all. Big up, Lisa, as well. Best intro music by a mile in all Spurs YouTube. Big up, guys from Mexico. 2-0. Come on. Big up, Lisa. Great to see you. We have Jacko Bloom in the house. Hey, Spurs fans, big up. We also have Siraj, let's go and grab the 3 points today. Come on, you Spurs. Absolutely love that. My man, Martin, had the pleasure of meeting him up in Dublin on Friday. Absolute great guy. Great guy. You can learn a hell of a lot off Martin, actually. Very experienced in life. Afternoon, lads. Back from the Emerald Isle. Ready for game day. Come on, you Spurs. Out in the man cave, I hope, Martin. Big yourself up. We also have Michael. Big up, Michael. He's had to state it now. Michael from Poland says, F me, it feels like an eternity past since I've tuned into one of those. Big up, guys. Come on, you Spurs. Yeah, I mean, look, these international breaks are just going on way too long. Way too long. It's just ruining the league, in my opinion, Michael. But big yourself up, brother. Big up, Adrian Schrocker as well. Good afternoon, all. I'm going to change this to Davis to do. So big up, Adrian Schrocker. Absolutely love that, my man. And then we also have Adrian Tria. Says, greetings. Bissouma is... Jack, can you make that out?
Greetings from the Bissouma Third Kit Society. Members of 2 only. You and Lazy 8 are rocking the Bissouma kit. Unfortunately, Bissouma is not able to rock that kit today because, yeah, he's going to have to sit on the sidelines today, Adrian. And it was, again, like I said, sort of a bit of a moment where Bissouma, he was just trying to sort of do it all on his own. You sort of find yourself taking pass 1, pass 2, you see a little gap, and then he sort of tried to dive through the gap, and he did end up kind of, let's be honest, diving, through the gap and got called out for it and ended up getting that naughty second yellow. And I feel bad for him because really wasn't that sinister or anything. He doesn't really come across that as that sort of player. But yeah, we're going to be missing him, and he's not even wiped clean his yellow card tally as well. So the Bissouma third kit definitely is need to be preserved. He's on the naughty step right now.
Yeah, I think you might have to open that members to 3, Adrian. I think I might be joining you very, very soon, my man. Despite initially not liking the kit, flexibility at all, it's growing on me. But big up, Adrian Chi. A nice, easy script would be lovely today. We'll take 1 or 2 more comments, and then we will crack on. We have Warrior Without a Master should win at home 2-0 or 2-1. We have Badder. He says, we are back. That we are. My man, Robbie Keane, says, as long as we win, none of our players get injured, I'll take it. Come on, you Spurs. Absolutely. Big up, George, as well. Good day, my man. Hopefully you're keeping well, sir. We have Dave H in the building. Big up, Dave, and the gang. 3 points today. Come on, you Spurs. Bradley Thompson says, thank God football is back. People must think international football isn't football the way they talk about it. Thank God football's back. It's getting like that, though. Big up, Jay Keaveney. Top panel today. Loving it. Big up, John, or Jay Keaveney, my man. Absolute legend. John George says, big up, Dave, the Irish Hotspur. 6-0 tonight with a Richarlison hat trick. Jack, any Richie runs today?
No Richie runs. I've been kind of a bit bad about that. I went on a Richie run in Seattle, and I forgot how hilly Seattle is in comparison to Brooklyn. Brooklyn just has like a couple of hills that I'm able to master, whereas Seattle, I forgot, is built on the side of a mountain. So I ended up being very humbled, as was probably Richarlison a few times this season with some of the sitters that maybe he missed against Luton Town. But the Richie runs will come back. I just thought maybe I annoy you guys maybe with some other sort of type of content. I know the Richie runs can get quite triggering for people because not only are people not the biggest fans of Richarlison, but no one wants to see a sweaty guy, on a short, on YouTube, without asking. Sometimes no one wants to see that. Big up.
I'll be honest, Jack. It was motivating me, my man. So it was seeing you out sprinting in the rain like that.
Maybe it's good for some.
Big up, Jamie Gate. Great to see you, my man. He says, we got this. Stevie D also says, hi, Dave and Jack. Evening chat. Dermot and Philip. Big up, Steve D. I think I also see Phil sneaking in there as well. Phil Coys, it's game day. Absolute legend, my man. Let's go, Spurs fans. 3-1. He wants Johnson to get his Spurs first Spurs goal. And then we have Bobby K says, big up, lads, and everyone in the chat. Come on, you Spurs. Big up, Bobby K, my man. Hopefully you're keeping well. Are you off to the yard tonight with the boys to watch the game, or is it a bit different on Monday nights? Let me know how them Monday evenings go, my man. But big up, Bobby. Good to see you in the building. And then have a super sticker from Wembley 1.
Yes,
Just
sir.
one moment. I'll go and have a look at it there, Wembley.
Sort of while you pick it up, Dave, because you're going to have to get your own eyes on it, but sort of rolling on the floor back and forth. This sort of, I think, would give me the impression of, somebody kind of looking at maybe the Arsenal-Chelsea game sort of this weekend, the love fest between the two, fans. And I even saw a lot of half scarves in the Chelsea sort of Arsenal game. I even actually live right near the Arsenal pub in Brooklyn. And when I was passing it by, I saw a lot of like blue and white sort of like kits. And I was like, this is a little odd. Like, isn't this the Arsenal pub? And I passed it by a second time on my way back. And I realized that they were actually just flooded with Chelsea fans inside an Arsenal pub. So it really does show that there's really no rivalry whatsoever. And they tried to make it up to be one. So maybe Wembley's just laughing on the floor, David. That's what it looks like, laughing on the floor emoji in a way.
Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't surprise, I mean, Philip, what do you make of the rivalry where both sets of fan gets together to sing how much they hate Tottenham, even though they all go on like Tottenham are so insignificant to them. Whenever they play each other, they get together to sing about us. What do you make of that rivalry? Is it really a rivalry?
It's pathetic. It's like two. I don't know. I don't know what. I'm just looking for a comparison here. It's like, I don't know. I mean, they think that they go there, right? The half and half scarves, to me, anyone I see in a half and half scarf is not a football fan. You cannot support two teams at one time, especially not Chelsea and Arsenal. So no, I mean, but then again, there was some videos of them of the crowd fighting on Saturday. Actually fighting. I remember they were throwing handbags at each other. I don't know, but they were.
Maybe
they're fighting over which house they're going to for dinner.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Chanting how much they hate Tottenham was probably far more interesting to them watching that bloody match, which was a bore.
Yeah, it was. It was boring. It was boring. But look, the good result of it is that we can come out 2 points clear tonight. Wembley 1 also follows up saying, afternoon, boys. It seems so long since the last game that I'm struggling to get into it yet. But a good thing, I feel that we have had an extra day or two to play after the international break. Well, look, hopefully this show gets you pumped up and ready for the game, my man. I think many people are probably feeling the same way. But look, once we end up top of the league tonight, you'll be back into it, my man, with Friday coming, Chelsea also coming up. And let's not forget, Premier League tried to stitch us up. Four of our first 6 games were away from home. There was a couple of London derbies thrown in there also, but also 3 of last year's top 5 thrown in there. So, I mean, the fact that the Premier League tried to shaft us should get you up for every fixture, Wembley. But Jack, you take the second part, my man, where he says, about the extra day or two before the international break.
Yeah, I guess there is maybe that feeling that maybe we aren't going to have a Maurizio Pochettino moment. He seemed to be complaining, about Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo, right, not being given enough time ahead of that Arsenal game. I don't really have much sympathy for it, to be honest. Like, I feel like it's kind of over dramatized, and in a way, it's also just sort of part of the profession and part of what you have to deal with. But in a way, we just don't have to deal with any of that jet lag or players maybe coming back late, or really also too think about certain injuries. I mean, Sonny, we all know, really didn't get any rest whatsoever. Wembley kind of over his international break. Maybe an extra day or two really does make the difference. So I'm actually happy in a way that, yeah, we do get those extra days that maybe other teams don't. But in a way, I do also think it's a bit over dramatized by certain managers.
They're taking it back from us in December, though. You've seen the fixtures in December. Man City on Sunday afternoon and West Ham on Tuesday night. So that's going to be tight.
Yeah, they come thick and fast in December. You're right. And they're actually tougher games as well, kind of in December too.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Look, Dermot, could there be a drop-off period today, though, or, take a while for us to sort of click? Because coming off the back of the last international break, Sheffield United, although we won the game, we left it very, very late, and we didn't really get going in that game whatsoever, Dermot.
I look, there might be, there probably will be, but I think Andrew would have learned a lot from that Sheffield United game on what he could do different and what he could do. And I'm sure he's done different things in the lead up to this Fulham game as well, to make sure that the players are rested, they are fully fired up. But yeah, there could be, and I think there will be. I think the first half an hour will be a bit sluggish, but I think we'll kick into gear after that. But I think give it about half an hour, both teams will be rusty. It won't be just us. A lot of the games of the weekend in the Premier League, a lot of teams were rusty first half an hour, first half. They were just not clicking, and then they all clicked into gear. And as for the game yesterday, it was so boring, I actually fell asleep. That's how boring it was.
I don't blame you, my man. But Wembley won, brother. Big up. Really appreciate the support, my man. Really does mean a lot, lad. And we also have Sarah Ace. Big up, my man. We have the regular on my way to the game now. Top of the FPL and hopefully top of the league after the game. Big up the regular. Hopefully you enjoy the game, my man. Absolute legend. Big up, James Yid, Paratrooper. What's up, fellas? We are about to go 2 points clear. Come on, you Spurs.
Up,
absolutely love that. We've just got a couple more comments coming in thick and fast. You guys are excited out there. Davy Shire all the way from down under. Big up Dave, Jack, Derm, and Philip. All in the chat. Big yourself up, Davy. I know it's not a nice time of the evening for you right now. What are you still doing awake, brother? Do let me know. But big up. Great to see
David
you in
Army.
the building. Yeah, big up to David Army, and really do appreciate all the support as well, my man. Who else have we got here? Tim Man, he's also on his way to the ground. Big up, Tim Man, another
Legend.
good soul. Enjoy the game, my man. Full voice. Big up, Daniel Harris, my long lost cousin. Have that horrible Spursy feeling today. Hope we win comfortably because we've not played that well for a while. Let's win it in style. Absolutely love that. Big up, Daniel. We also have Stefan Blois, really feverous with Hojbjerg starting the Danish Harry Winks. Hope despite him in midfield, we can do the job. Come on, you Spurs.
Oh my
just
Lord.
on that. Just on that. Look, we're going to save it. We're going to get into Hojbjerg and all in just a little. But anyone calling for Calvin Phillips to come to Tottenham, he ain't better than Hojbjerg, and he is exactly like Harry Winks. So, I mean, you know, don't be hating on Hojbjerg if you're calling for Calvin Phillips to come to Tottenham, please. Shawnee Maddox, big up, brother. Great to see you. Along with Ian Ferguson, great to see you. J Mac, my man, absolutely legend. Great to see you. Ribsy member for 26 months. Come on, you Spurs. We're back, baby.
Legend,
Super
Ribsy.
keen, Jacka.
Yes, super keen to get back into it. And also as well, it just feels like Spurs have just done a gracious deed and, you know, letting all the teams, you know, play ahead of them, Ribsy. And then we'll just take the league, you know, away from them once again. We'll sit at top of the league after they play. They get to go through all the trials, and they get to go through all kind of the competition. And we just get to, you know, play our game on Monday night. We get to be the main event. Like kind of Philip said, feels like they're trying to avoid talking about Spurs being at the top of the league as much as possible. But you know, they'll have to eventually recognize it, Ribsy, after we grab, you know, the win today against Fulham. Big up to you. 26 months of service, my man. One of the GOATs, one of kind of the Mount Rushmore, if you will, of the Irish Hotspur. I feel like you've been around longer than I have, you know, kind of like Philip, Tron, you know, so many of you guys that have been around, you know, even longer than I have. So maybe one of the Mount Rushmores, Dave.
Yeah, definitely, for sure, lad, for sure. And Ribsy, let me know what the vibe is around Australia. We're picking up more Spurs fans over there. We've got to be picking up more every single day. Big up, let me know, my man. Big up, Shawnee Maddox as well. They're just renewing the membership, I presume. Big up, brother. Really do appreciate the support. And I will be running the fan show tomorrow at a slightly earlier time. Come on and have a say it with me, Shawnee. Big yourself up. Charlie Moondog, great to see you. Where's the Owlad, by the way? Tell the Owlad I'm looking for him. Big up, Charlie. Big up, Shen Tam as well. Big up, Joseph. Big up, DJ Samuel. And then we have Davy Shire says, yep, 11:30 p.m. here. Don't think I'll be up for the game, lol. 3-1. Come on, you Spurs. Jack, you know, Philip, Dermot, what do we have to do to keep Davy awake for the game?
Plenty of coffee. Plenty of coffee, plenty of Coca-Cola, and just put on plenty of Tottenham videos. Just put Dave on for the next how many hours, and then that will keep you up because he will have you bouncing off every wall within about half an hour. You'll be like the kangaroo jumping all over the house.
Certainly loud enough to keep him awake.
Playing reruns of the last two goals, the two goals against Sheffield United and the winner against Liverpool on a loop. That's not to keep anybody awake. You know?
What's that sniffing salts they use in the dressing room? Use some of them, Davey.
Davey, I feel like Ange Ball is so good, though, that's what should be keeping you awake. You know, you've been waiting up, you know, and it's just that delicious to watch, you know, on the TV screen. You know, you practically want to lick it. You know, it's that, you know, delicious watching, you know, the players, you know, make the combinations and just the way that we break down teams. And Madison as well is going to need to take, you know, a huge step up. He's probably going to be hopefully, you know, flowing and, you know, feeling at his best. And plenty of other players, you know, potentially Hill Messi, you know, opportunity, potentially other players that we don't get to see a lot of could be coming in. So I would say, David, just Ange Ball should be keeping you awake. You should be, you know, foaming at the mouth, you know, to get it back.
few cans or something like that as well in the fridge, Davey. You know, whenever you feel yourself drifting off, you know, crash them cans together like Stone Cold Steve Austin, my man, and
Energy
down them.
drinks as well seem to, you know, Dave likes the energy drink cans. So if you're into that, Dave, you know, find a good one.
Monster, not very good or healthy for you. It's my first one I've had in weeks, but you know, it certainly does the job, Davey. But I wouldn't be promoting it for sure. Davey Shire has also gifted a membership to Daniel Harris. Big up, my man. Absolute legend. He's at it again. Big up, Daniel. Make sure you use that now, my man, and you know, get involved with all the content in the community section and all the member only videos as well. So make sure you get involved on that, Daniel. He's already thanked Davey Shire as well. Absolute legend. But look, I'm going to crack in, give all you guys the details. Phil Coy's member for 14 months. Pleasure to be a member of this great channel. That must have been sneaky. Yeah, he snuck it in. Big up. No, look, Phil, it's great to have you. Look, not just only you, but everyone, you know, that chooses to join as a member and everything else. You know, it's a great community that we're building. Hopefully we can keep growing it, making it bigger, and, you know, more and more people can get in on this awesome community. Right now, I think it's the best kept secret around, Jacko.
Big up, Phil. It's a pleasure to know you. You know, I got to meet up with you as well for a Spurs game. I had a really good time with you and your mate. And yeah, you were actually, honestly, a great guy to actually hang out with, you know, throughout the Spurs match. And, you know, we got the juices flowing, Dave. You know, we got the liquid courage, you know, before the game. I think, you know, head of the Nottingham Forest fixture, you know, me and Phil, and we got to see Richarlison score one of the best offside, but actually onside goals we've ever seen. And there's no replay called after that one, Phil, despite Richarlison actually being onside in that game. But yeah, it was a pleasure to meet you, my man, and so many other Spurs fans, and especially from this community I've been able to meet like yourself. Big up, Phil. Thank you for being a part of it. Want to speak to you soon. It feels like it's been a while. So maybe if you're a night owl this evening, come on and have a say, or, you know, whatever it might be. You know, we're looking for somebody for the post-match show. If you want to come on, big up to you, Phil.
Also, I'm trimming down a little, so let me know where you got that Del Boy jacket, my man. I need one. It's absolutely awesome. Absolutely love it. Please, I'm actually serious. Let me know where you got it, brother. But big up, Mike, as well. Good to see you in the building. Rob Damios, Wayne Bonner's back in, and Daniel Sandoval as well. Big up, Wayne Bonner. Great to see you, my man. But look, before we crack into it, guys, please, if you want to help support this channel, there's numerous ways you can do it. You can smash that like button. You can obliterate that subscribe button if you want to. You can share the content out to all your Spurs loving friends. Or you can either super chat, which is a great way to get involved with us while we're live. We'll bring it up as we go along. As you know, we will make sure everyone gets a good say on it. You know, just to give you guys value for your money as best as we can. Also, you can grab one of them channel memberships. There's 3 different levels up there. You can flick through them. There's a video up, and we can see if you want to grab one of them and see for yourself. But look, that's the ways you can support the channel. But enough of that. We are going to get into it. I'm going to give you some match details, and then we are going to crack on. So, of course, we are at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Kickoff is 8 p.m. tonight. Where's Dark Sun G? We need some stats on Anthony Taylor, the referee, and Paul Tierney in the VAR room. And then if you want to watch the match tonight, we are live on telly. They saved the best to last on Sky Sports in the UK and Ireland. In the USA, it's on NBCSN. In Australia, it's on Optus Sports. And in Canada, it is on Fubo TV. Now, on to injuries. Of course, Bissouma out suspended. Perisic out with his ACL. Solomon out with the meniscus after surgery. Sessegnon out with the hamstring. And Whiteman out with his ankle. For Fulham, Adebayo is out with his groin. Recently had a surgery on it. So that sort of begs the call going into January. Do we take that gamble, considering he hasn't played and he's had surgery? So an interesting discussion maybe to be had around there with myself and Jacko one of the days this week, along with Traore, Tete, and Diop, who are also out. So a few huge losses for Fulham. Someone please check in on Jacob, make sure he's okay with Traore being missing today as well. He absolutely loves him. So there it is. That's everything you need to know. So, guys, that's everything you need to know there. And then we have Mia, who says, big up to you all. Tom Jones, the cock lover, and Kylie and Jason must win this today. Can't wait to have Ange ball back. Come on, you Spurs. Jack, I think we got the better ones there at Kylie and Jason. What do you think?
Yeah, Mia's being a bit nicer to us as per usual. She's probably, you know, gives you know, the tougher, you know, kind of a banter to Dermatron and Philip because they can take it. You know, they got the thick skin for it. But also Mia, I feel like I like the coys, you know, kind of your usual signature. Yeah. But since you are part of the Happy Clapper train and often, you know, in fact, the conductor of it, maybe more of a choo choo choo, you know, with a train emoji at the end of it. That would probably be more kind of in line. I forget. She's part of which one is she the conductor of? The Happy Clapper train, the Ange train, one of those trains. I know she is, in fact.
Hojbjerg train.
Yeah, no, definitely not Dave. She's an unwilling, you know, she's an unwilling passenger in that one. But big up me, and yeah, maybe next time give me a choo choo choo.
I'd just like to ask the question. Me and Philip can answer this one. Philip, which one's Kylie and which one's Jason, do you think?
I was away there for a minute. I didn't hear that bit. I must have missed it.
I think Dave looks a bit like Jason Donovan.
Yeah. Oh, hang on now.
Yeah.
No, I think Kylie'd have trouble growing a beard like that, so I better make Jack is Kylie and Dave is Jason, right?
Yeah, there you go.
I'll settle for that. And between you two, who's Tom Jones and the Cockerel Cock Lover?
Well, I can never say the Cockerel Clock because I keep saying the Cockerel Cock.
I know, I've heard you. It's hilarious.
And Tom Jones next to me, who does Roger Taylor on the Tuesday, Tom Jones on the Wednesday, and Joe Dolan on the Thursday. So he really does get round the place. I mean,
and the Voice UK on the Saturday.
Yeah. Dave, you and me both know he is the Foreign Affairs Minister for Travelling in Europe for Ireland. We know he's ahead of the government, but he keeps it on the lowdown.
Honestly, he does. He has more holidays than the president. You know, when later on in life, I want Philip's slice. So, Philip, when you're ready to pass the baton, you know, I'll take it off you.
He's away again. He's away again in a couple of weeks, Dave. He's gone on another cruise from America. I swear to God, right? He goes up to Dublin, right, every Tuesday. I think he goes to the Taoiseach, and the Taoiseach gives him, you know, a few quid to go away on holiday. Here's another ticket for you and the missus, Philip. You know, I reckon.
I'll give you a few quid to go away as well.
Huh?
I'll give you a few quid to go away as well.
But big up, Mia. Really appreciate the support. Member for 12 months, 1 whole year. That's absolutely awesome. Really do appreciate the support, Mia. Really do. Absolutely awesome. But look, let's crack on, guys. And Mr. Brady, we will start with you, a.k.a. Tom Brady. Philip, of course, we win tonight. We all know we go 2 points clear. Can we show tonight that we have the mentality to sort of overcome the pressure to win? Because in years gone by, remember under Jose Mourinho when we were top at December, it felt like when we were playing last, even under Pochettino and the title run, it felt like when we were playing last, we just didn't, and we knew what result we needed. We just didn't have that maybe mentality to deal with the pressure. Is it different this time around?
Yeah, it is.
Why?
Ange with us, how many months is he with us? He came in July, so July, August, September, 4 months he's been with us, right? He has completely changed the mentality of that team. You can tell even in the goal celebrations. You know, in goal celebration seasons gone by, okay, you were delighted to score, you jumped all over the players, but the look on the players' faces has changed for me. It's the sheer delight that whatever they've been trying to do in training has come right on the pitch. And I think Ange has done, like he did the same at Celtic, exactly the same at Celtic.
Yeah.
Whatever he has in him, he can psychologically bring up players to another level that we haven't had for a number of years. Like Mourinho and Conte and the Garden Gnome didn't really bother with that end of it as far as I know. But Ange has come in there, seen what needs to be done. And in 4 months have done what he's done. I think it's quite incredible. I don't think we're going to be fazed by the fact that the pressure of going top tonight. I don't think so. I think we're going to go out there and we're going to give Fulham a lesson. Like this to me is going to be like, this season is going to be like 16-17 when we went 19 games unbeaten in the league at the Lane, 17 wins and 2 draws. I want to see that again this season.
Wow. I mean, it'd be nice to go unbeaten at the Lane. That would be absolutely awesome. I mean, Jack Dermo, you want to come in on this question and also everybody at home, please put your answers in the chat. Do you think Tottenham will overcome the pressure tonight, knowing the result we need?
I think there's a different mentality now at Tottenham. There's a different mental attitude at Spurs. We're not soft anymore like we were under Mourinho or Conte or the Garden Gnome. I think Spurs can go out tonight full of confidence, and that comes from the manager. The manager gives them confidence, right? The dressing room's yours to do. I'm giving you permission to do what you want, but I'm giving you the confidence to go out, enjoy yourself. If you tell a player to go out and enjoy himself, he will play better. And I think that's what it is. He's given them license to enjoy themselves. The fans are behind them. Everyone's behind them at the moment. They're on a crisp of a wave. And look, I think tonight we'll win, and we'll win quite easily. 4-0. And I no one can, we never stop, and no one will stop us because we're Tottenham Hotspur.
Absolutely love that. Absolutely love that. And I hope it is the case. Look, for me, I look at it, and there's already been a lot of questions. Man United at home, can we overcome that? Done that. We haven't beaten Liverpool in our new stadium. Can we overcome that? We've done that. The next one was, can we go to the Emirates off the back of can we go to the Emirates and pick up something there where we haven't in so long? We've done that. Then it was around the London derbies. We haven't done well in London derbies the last few years. We've knocked that one off. Our away record has picked up. So we've knocked that one off. And I don't think there's any reason tonight why we should be going into this game scared. If it was a team inside the, running for Champions League football, you'd look at it a little bit differently. But Jack, surely tonight's a decent fixture for us to be able to come back from the international break from, right?
Yeah, I can see how the question comes from was maybe they've had a bit of time to dwell on their position and, sort of think about it for a while and, and realize that, wow, guys, we really are top of the league. We, in a way, have been playing some of the best football that, the Premier League is seeing right now. And, can we sustain it? All those sort of things would be going through your head. But they kind of already have gone through tougher tests and sort of tougher challenges already and have been able to come out in a good way, or at least in a good light. I think, going away to the Emirates and grabbing that result in the way that they did through also as well, maybe some pretty poor decision making, on the half of the referee. Romero's handball, seems to be, one that you see one week given, then the other week it's not. You also look at that deflection goal that happened that they had to bounce back from. It was kind of that usual story of, being really unlucky, even though playing well despite that. At the Emirates, and they still got out of there. And also Nketiah probably should have been sent off, right? And we still were able to grab the result that we needed. And we probably looked like maybe we should have won that game. And there's a lot of, moments I could point to where I think Spurs have shown more mettle, more kind of, togetherness and just more determination than they have in seasons past. And we also have a bit more kind of just sort of resilience about us than usual. And I could see why maybe there is that feeling that we've been kind of sitting on this for a while, thinking about it for a while. I don't know, Dave. I feel like they've already passed enough tests and challenges that they should be able to get it done today.
I think so. I think it's about time, because eventually if we keep feeling like this, and AC says I'm more nervous today than Arsenal or Liverpool games, which I can understand. I think there's many out there. But if we keep this nervousness around us heading into these games, eventually it will end up, making them players nervous. I do think we now need to sort of get behind this team and be more positive about it. I get why they're the apprehension about sort of really getting behind this team because, of years gone by, the hurt that we've suffered and the false dawns and everything else. But I do feel like this time is different for sure. But big up AC. We'll take another Uaz. Wayne Bonner says, our beloved Spurs have evolved from an animal to a beast. Says it all when I banter the Gooners at work this morning, and they're worried about our game tonight. Terry the Gooner looked worried.
Leno's ruthless.
He is ruthless. He's on it. Paul O'Connor also answers, says, personally, I think Ange motivate these players, and he won't be mentioning about going top. He will just be like, go out and win the game. We never stop. Absolutely love that. Hennessy, my man, new member, and then he says, got a new card. Sorry, lads. Look, lad, no ever need to apologize. I keep saying this to people. No need to explain yourselves. We understand everyone goes through times, tough, good and bad times and everything else, switches of cards, losing bank cards, etc. Never need to explain anything to us, my man. Just really appreciate you picking back up the membership, Hennessy. Really appreciate it, brother.
Want to see you tomorrow then, Hennessy. If you got the new fan show, my man, want to see you tomorrow. Have a chat. Pick up.
Jump on with us, brother. Jump on with us. DJ Samuel says, after 4 years of fossil football, attacking old style football is back at White Hart Lane. You must be happy, DJ. My man, of course, lives in and around Tottenham. And then Emily Dunn says, come on, you Spurs. Great stream, lads. Really appreciate it, Emily. Really, really do appreciate the support. Everyone else follows suit. Adrian Chia says, Ange hasn't lost a home game since November 2020. Come on, you Spurs. Now, I do love this from Adrian Chia. But are we piggybacking off the back of a Celtic record here, though, lads?
Yeah, but yeah, we are a bit. But look at this way. Look at our record this season. Just to go back to the way the fixtures have panned out for us. We've played 5 away and 3 at home, and look where we are. Right, we've won all 3 at home. That's my point earlier. There's no reason why we can't go unbeaten at home this season. Because let's face it, there's only a couple of clubs I'll be worried about that have to come. Man City, they have to break their duck at some stage with us, right? But apart from them, We played Liverpool. We played Man United. We got Arsenal to come. We can do it.
Yeah.
I feel there's look. I've said it before. I always say there's a vibe of the 80s. There's a really Bill Nick vibe of this team now, of the Ange Postecoglou way he does it. And I've always said it before in the past. We've been missing the soul of Bill Nick's been missing. The spirit of Bill Nick's flowing back through that stadium again. And the start of the 60-61 season, we won. Where was it, Philip? 16 games. 16 games. 11 on the trot. I think we can match that. I honestly think we can match it with this team.
I think isn't tonight. If we win tonight, isn't that a record for a Premiership team to go 9 matches unbeaten? Or so the points total is as high as nearly as been ever.
Yeah, he's going to equal hitting or something like that.
Yeah.
I think Gus hitting.
We'll get onto that. Yeah, we're going to get onto that. He'll equal Gus Hiddink and some Walker guy. Interesting. A couple of other stats I have for you for tonight's game as well. That'd be very good.
Right. Sorry to jump ahead. I didn't realize.
No, you're all good, but you're right. You're definitely on track with that, Philip. But look, actually, let's go into it now, Philip, while we're here. I mean, let me get the record. I'll call it out. Just give me 1 second. Where are we? So a win over Fulham tonight means Ange Postecoglou sets a record of 23 points earned from his first 9 Premier League fixtures in charge, surpassing Mike Walker and Gus Hiddink. So basically, what I was going to ask, basically off the back of that, Philip, is what has been the biggest factor to our start this season? Postecoglou, or the style of football, or the recruitment?
Well, Postecoglou equals a new style of football and the recruitment. So I think it's a mixture of all three. I mean, none of us, Dermot and myself talk about this a lot. Do you remember the night of the AC Milan game last March?
Yeah, I wanted to die.
To me, that was a low point in my supporting Tottenham. I thought we'd never get our club back after that. That was just suicidal stuff. Now look at it. In 4 or 5 months after that, Ange has come in, and in 4 months he's completely transformed everything. So I mean, I think there's going to be blips. We're going to lose games probably a way that we don't expect to lose. It's bound to happen. But I think none of us thought that we'd go this far without actually having one of those. You know what I mean? Luton was probably the nearest thing we came to a blip. When Bissouma was sent off there, but. No, I think this can go on. Our next few games are not overly strenuous, maybe apart from Chelsea at home. That's going to be tricky because they are getting better. But I can say it's just keep this run going. Keep it going.
Just on that Chelsea game, just quickly before we let in Dermot or Jack, I would say to fans, that sort of mentality we had for Arsenal 2 seasons ago on the back end of the Champions League, where Gary Neville famously said Tottenham fans brutalised Arsenal all game long, the players, the manager, the fans, and that's what ultimately ended up making them surrender to us. We need to show that same sort of atmosphere in and around that Chelsea game. But Jacko, do you want to have a say on what Adrian Chi is saying here? Now, this is, Celtic included in this, but what I want to flip it maybe is, can Ange Postecoglou maybe sort of do something similar at home with Tottenham Hotspur? Philip said, can we go unbeaten?
That's being like, I can't believe I'm saying this, or maybe, I don't know, Dave, like you're almost being harsh on Celtic there, or harsh on his time on Celtic there. To still go undefeated for as long as he did at home with Celtic is still impressive. Like, I bet it's probably one of the best home records any Celtic manager had probably had consecutively for a long time. Ange Postecoglou, again, no matter what we look at, the Scottish League for, he is, probably been, at least in your time, Dave, one of the best Celtic managers you've seen in a long, long time. So it kind of, you can't look down on it in any way. He's carried that over to Tottenham Hotspur, and he's been able to make it a fortress. And that's what's kind of the most reliable thing that a manager can have, actually, is if they have pretty atrocious away form, they usually can then at least rely that when they come back home, they can play an entirely different brand. They usually have the crowd behind them. It can be a really different place. Even Everton, right? Sort of in the opposite case, where they seem to really struggle kind of at home, but they're kind of playing well away from home. And a lot of the fans even don't like it because you want, you want your home stadium to be a palace. You want it to be a fortress that you can rely upon, 3 points for, no matter really who you're coming up against, and just carried that over, Adrian, for sure.
Yeah. Very fair points. Very fair points. Big up, Adrian, my man. Really appreciate support. Dermot, I'll throw the next one at you,
brother.
Work
on the scripts, my man. Keep working on those scripts, Adrian. 4-0. Everybody's speaking 4-0 today. Is that what's going to happen, Adrian? I bet that's not. Usually you got something spicy.
Big up, Adrian. Yeah, hopefully it is a 4-0. That'd be absolutely awesome. Neil Shafton, member for 23 months, 1 month shy of the 2 years. Absolutely, wow, that's insane. He says everyone has to check out. He's real running Ribsy close. Everyone has to check out THFC Till I Die. It's a real banger and the best intro clip in the Tottenham community. Well done, Big Cock and the Welsh crooner Tom Jones. I mean, guys, Neil Shafton giving you guys a bit of love in here. What do you want to say to one of your fangirls, Neil?
Well, big up, Neil. The intro, we have got a new intro tonight, and I can't take credit for it. I was speaking to a fella. Awesome. It's got the two things I love, Marvel and Tottenham combined. It's getting its debut tonight. I did put up on the channel last night, and I got two versions of it. One with our normal intro music, or the one that is. So I'm going to let the people decide. But Neil, thank you so much. Look, me and Philip love doing the channel. We have banters, and look, I respect Philip very much. He's a great co-host to have. Yeah. I always call him my Jack Konecki. That's how I call him. And look, it's people like you that keep us doing what we love doing. The same with Dave and Jack. So, Philip, do you want to say anything? But just a big up, Neil, and thank you so much. You're very kind.
And also, off the channel, Neil, I really enjoy your chats on WhatsApp, with the various things going on through the world and everything. So, fair dues to you. And I don't mind being called the Welsh crooner Tom Jones. The other description now... the crooner is a singer. I don't sing. I don't sing.
Can I just say, being called the Big Cock, I don't mind whatsoever. I take that. I'm quite proud of that. Quite proud of that.
Big up, Neil. Really, really, really nice comment for the two boys. Very, very nice of you. Just quickly, I did see that intro that Darmo will be playing. It's absolutely fantastic. I do ask anyone out there that has all these video editing skills, I would implore you, maybe make one. There's a speech on any given Sunday. If you can make one to that speech, I mean, it's absolutely rock material. So, anyone out there, you guys, me and Jack call for it. You guys deliver it. So someone put the skills to the test and get that done. But big up, Neil Shafton. Really appreciate the support, my man. We go on to Joseph Jacko. Big up, Joseph. And he says, big up, Paul. We are seeing change for the better, but cannot forget this is the beginning of a long process of change. The message to all fans, if we don't win today, no meltdown. We are working. Come on, you Spurs. I think a very important message, Jacko. Despite people say they won't go on a meltdown, they went on a meltdown after the Carabao Cup game and everyone blamed Ange Postecoglou. So, and I don't want anyone to pretend that didn't happen because it did. Let's deal with reality here. But Jack, what would you say?
I think Joseph is bringing up a very valid point that you continue to have to make when talking about Spurs in this sort of quote unquote, league, title race, or, at least, challenging inside the top four, is that a lot of sort of Spurs fans, will bring up, while it's really great to be up here at the top, we're only so far into this process. Like, there's no way that we should be sort of at our best already, or even close to what Ange, sort of expects the team to really look like and play like. I mean, yeah, he's probably, surpassing expectations, but is he really surpassing his own expectations? Maybe not. Like, this is all part of his sort of long process of trying to get the whole club, the whole squad, the whole system sort of under his vision, under his sort of tutelage. And it will take a while, and there will be its bumps in the road. And we continue to say that, and eventually they will come. And eventually we will have moments that just sort of don't really, that just don't go our way. And I think we'll find a way out of it, Joseph. And that's what's really impressive, is that while we are in this league title race, we're still so early in this process under Ange. The train has only just started, chewing, as we were saying to Mia earlier. There's still plenty more to go. And message to all fans, no need for a meltdown. Yes, there will be some, little bumps in the road, but no reason to get off the train. No reason to get off the train.
Darmo, Philip, any of you guys feel strongly off the back of this?
Yeah, I mean...
Go on, go first, Philip. Go on.
We're always worried about a melt. There was a bit of a meltdown after the Fulham game, and maybe it was justified, maybe it wasn't. Like, making 9 changes probably was a bit too much. But that's history. It's done now, right? And I think Ange learned something from that game that probably he won't repeat again. I've been saying this since the very start. There is going to be bumps in the road. We're going to get them. We haven't had any yet, really, apart from Fulham. So when they do come, let's just take it on the chin and move on to the next game, because it's only a bump in the road. It's not a crater. It's only a bump. And we will get over it, and we will move on and learn from it. So I think like we've every reason to be very, very confident about this season. Like, I remember saying at the start of last season when Conte was in charge, I wanted to go unbeaten at home. That did not work out very well. But this time I'm a lot more confident.
Dermo, did you want to say something, Sam?
Yeah, look. We all need to be realistic. It's the start of a journey, and as Jack rightly said, we've just pulled out of the station. We've just gone through the first station. We've gone through over so many hurdles that we didn't do last season. The Arsenal way, we got a point. We beat Man United at home, not just beat them, outplayed them, outfought them, outthought them, and you take your wins where you can. But look, there's always going to be bumps in the road, as Philip says. We just have to be patient, and we just have to be just supportive of them rough times, because we are going to have them. But who knows? I always say, you look at Leicester when they won the league. Could we be the Leicester of this season? Nobody expected us to do anything, and we ended up doing something special. So look, enjoy it. Let's enjoy it. Let's not fight with each other. Let's not have a meltdown. Let's all enjoy it and get on the train and enjoy the Postecoglou ride, because it's going to be one hell of a ride.
I will fight people, though, if they blame Ange Postecoglou this time around. I didn't like it the last time around. I don't want to see anyone throw the toys out the pram.
No.
You got to realize sometimes you can blame the players instead of blaming the manager all the time. But look, what I will say is that if we do lose tonight, which we won't, we got to realize, we've had a great start to the season. No one expected us to be in this position. No one expected us to be playing the sort of football that we started showing from the very first game. So let's enjoy it while it's here. We've all moaned and argued and everything else and blamed everyone else and everything else the last few years under Conte, Jose, etc. So if we do lose tonight, let's, common sense prevail. We pick ourselves up and we go again at Palace Friday night, which for me is a tougher game, by the way. At Palace, a lot of teams go there and really, really find it hard to get a result. So, let's just not have a meltdown if we do lose. But Joseph, that ain't gonna happen, my man. So let's not, preempt that. Big up, Joseph, absolute legend. Really appreciate the support.
There was always the saying, Dave: you win your home games and you get your points away from home. That's the mentality we've got to have. Win our home games. Let's go unbeaten. Away from home, if you can't get a win, at least get a point.
We are working, Joseph. I love it. Great send off as well. We are working.
Yeah, big up, Joseph. We are working, my man. He also followed up by saying, like and subscribe. I haven't been excited for a Spurs game in a long time. Big up, Joseph. Boy. Then we also just want to say a quick hello to a couple more people. Derek Hutchison in the house. Big up, my man. Jamie as well. Absolute legend. We've got Mile High Hotspur. We also have Scooter Reacts. Jamie again. Big up, my man. And then Wayne Bonner says the Pacino speech. That would be brilliant. That is the one, brother. That is the one. And then we also have Young Putty. Adair Espasir. Absolutely great pronunciation. Bet you didn't know your boy knew that. He says, it's just a YouTube member. Big up, my man. Welcome to the community. Get into the community section. Get involved in everything we have going on there. Big up, my man, and really do appreciate the support. But look, let's keep motoring on. Anyone else, feel free, like other people, grab them memberships, send in them super chats. And even if you don't, get your answers into our questions as we go along. And we will do our best to bring them up and include you guys as we go along. Now, Jack, of course, as good as teams are right now, we did lose to Fulham the last time out we played them. They're the only team to beat us. I mean, what's different for you this time around?
Pretty much the back four, the starting 11, I think especially the back line. And we continue to talk about, and probably will have to continue to talk about, when we make certain changes to that back line, you will see a very different Tottenham Hotspur, because oftentimes when we're trying to break down teams, we're going to need, the moves to usually start from our center backs, start from our full backs, start from our goalkeeper. And if you can't rely on one of those guys to actually be able to control a football, be able to make a 6-yard pass, then you're probably doomed from the get-go. That's what happened with Sanchez. That's what happened with Davies. That's what happened. Even Fraser Forster, I actually thought had an okay game, but some people didn't think he even was that great sort of in possession. Actually, on the evening, he did have one sort of sketchy moment, to be honest. And then two, Emerson also didn't really have one of the best of games. I sort of thought kind of on the ball going forward. What we really lacked was sort of any sort of invention, any sort of kind of direction, from the back line. Whereas when we have Christian Romero, Porro, Vicario, we usually are able to build out the back. We usually are able to make those sort of passing combinations a lot easier. We had Hojbjerg and Skip as well, which I think is just never a good combination for a midfield. It usually always just sort of leads to really bad sort of sideways passing and backwards passing and really like no sort of real direction, with it. And yeah, I think for the most part, it was just a lot of guys that for the most part, I think just don't really work together or don't really even work for the most part in this system. And players like Ben Davies, players like Sanchez, luckily won't be in the lineup tonight. But I think that was really the real reason why we couldn't really break down Fulham. I didn't even think Fulham really did all that much going forward to cause us problems. It was just more that they really frustrated us when we were trying to go forward. And it was because I don't think we had, the suitable players to really break them down. Whereas this time we do. Yes, Hojbjerg is coming into the team, and some people have skepticism about that. We'll get on to that later. But for the most part, we have the same back line, the same sort of players that have been brilliant this season at, breaking down defenses, whether it's a press or sort of a low block. And so I do expect it to be a very different game. Also, it's going to be at home. And I expect if any stage, if we start sort of lulling ourselves or starting to pass a little slowly or a little too kind of methodically, the Spurs fans will start getting on them for sure.
For sure. Just quickly, I haven't seen Davy Shire in the comments. Everyone, make sure you put in a comment, see if he's still awake. But look, no, you're absolutely spot on, Jack. I do think this time around we're going out there with our first team. I think it will be a different sort of game. I think we will have Fulham on the back foot, like you sort of alluded to. When you got Davies at left back, you've got Sanchez at centre back. We really did sort of struggle to progress the ball. We were speaking about it the other day, Jack. How many times does Sanchez put it out for a throw-in when he's trying to pass down the line? How many times did Davies just come back inside with it? Skip on the ball was poor. Hojbjerg sort of failed to progress the ball. And even when he did put it out wide, the fullbacks didn't help them. Whereas this time, Porro or Doji, they'll just get on their bike and they'll go. They'll push them back. So I do agree with you, Jack. I do think it'll be a complete different game. But then, if we win tonight, does that mean Postecoglou gets all the praise, considering he got all the, the blame for the Carabao Cup exit?
Well, everybody's going to get some version of revenge tonight, Dave. Maybe Ange gets his revenge on the media and maybe on some people who questioned him on the evening. And maybe Spurs fans get their revenge against Fulham, the one team that has drawn blood against us, that has been able to come out victorious. They're the only ones. A privileged club to be in, the only team that has beaten Spurs this season.
That it is. Also, big up Lily White Lane, Eamon Burns. Big up the Outlet as well, tuning in. Hopefully, you've got a nice salad on the go and some water in the fridge for the game tonight, my man. Big yourself up. Also, big up Paddy Harnett. Great to see you. Thinks tonight will be tight again and not an easy win. Philip Dermot, we'll go to you first, Dermot, and then we'll let Philip in. I mean, what do you think will be different this time around for us to be able to get the 3 points? What do we have to do differently?
I don't think we have to. I think it's the team's going to be different. We're going to have the first 11 out there. And look, I do not blame Ange for what he did against Fulham, by the way. That fell on the players 100%. It also was to send a point. I agree with the comments, said it's sending a point to Levy that we needed new players in at the time. Them players should have been good enough to beat Fulham, though Fulham did just beat us on penalties. Years ago, that could have been a 1-1 draw. We could have beat them back in the second leg at the Lane. So, look, I don't think that game at tonight, I think Ange had to do it because the only other game we could try these players. So what's he supposed to do? But I think tonight would be different. A whole new, the first 11 out, there'd be a mentality of getting one over on them. We're not going to let them beat us twice. And I don't think they will. I think we're going to batter them tonight. I think Fulham are they haven't been that consistent this Premier League, Fulham. Coming off, I think they're coming off a 3-1 defeat, I think, as well. I think the last game, before the Premier League, or 3-1, when I can't remember, for the break. But they haven't been in that great form. So I think it's a chance for tonight that Postecoglou would say, well, look, here's now my first 11. Here's what we're going to do, and we're going to win, and we're going to win big.
I think that
Philip,
go on. No, that game against Fulham, that was 2 days before the transfer window shut.
Yeah.
And I think he wanted to get a look at some players that he hadn't had a chance to look at in the league up to that. So I can see why that happened, And let's face it, Fulham beat an understrength Tottenham on penalties. So technically, they didn't really beat us. We beat ourselves by not scoring enough penalties. So, it's going to be different tonight, as Dermot says. Full-strength team out there. Fulham won't come to attack us, that's for sure, because they know they'll get picked off. So it's going to be a low block from them, and let's hope we can work our way around it.
Yeah, look, I think we will. I think we've got the cleverness and the in the team to be able to dispatch Fulham tonight. Moondog says, "Big up, lads! A nice win tonight. Hojbjerg goal, Jack. Oh, you did say this to me 2 days ago. He's got it. He's got it out ready.
There it is, Moondog. I was in Mickey D's this morning. I had the Hojbjerg kit on. $3 off my order, and I don't know how it happened. All I did was just get a hash brown and like a McChicken something that wasn't even very good, and it was $3 off, and only had to pay like $3.27 or something like that after tax. It was lovely. It was I can tell the Hojbjerg goal is happening. Hojbjerg is gonna repay my faith and repay a lot of other people's faith, like Ellie, so many of you guys that have been fighting for the man, and hopefully he gets hopefully he grabs a goal or something today. Big up to you, Moondog, and I'll try my best to focus on our man Pierre instead of Richie, because I know when I talk about Richie, it gets a little triggering for Moondog at times because he wants him out of there. Big up.
Jack, you're an Arsenal fan. This is he would have charged you double.
Exactly right. They would have said it. They would have said it's out of order, Philip. That's what
I was going to say, you're lucky Stefan Blois didn't serve you. He would have banned you if you seen the Hojbjerg jersey, Jack. He would have refused to serve you.
Good point.
Moondog, it is great to see you, buddy. Absolutely great to see you in the building. I put the call out to Charlie earlier. He must have told you I was looking for you. But great to see you in the building, sir. Hopefully you are keeping well, and hopefully you survived the international break, Moondog. But look, let's get on then and have a bit of a discussion about Hojbjerg then, guys. I can come back to other questions. Where are we? So, yeah, of course, Yves Bissouma is suspended for the game today after his red card at Luton. With the indispensable Bissouma sideline, guys, fans and pundits have been speculating on how Spurs will fill the void. Now, Postecoglou did call Hojbjerg a ready-made replacement. So what's your thoughts? Many are saying you're going to see a massive drop-off in terms of Tottenham being able to progress the ball from the back line into the forward line because of the loss of Bissouma. But I'd argue maybe differently. I think when you look at Liverpool game, he took off Bissouma, he brought on Hojbjerg, who actually quickened things up. Against Luton, Hojbjerg came on and done all right as well. And there's a few examples of that this year. So look, we'll go to Jack first, and then we'll go around to the likes of we'll go to Philip, and then back to Dermo on this one.
Big up to Steve D. Big up to Steve D. Just quickly. He said, "How long is the PEH segment going to last? Because then he'll come back later." Big up to
about an hour.
Exactly. And also, I should have given you a big content warning, before Steve D. when I was showing you the Hojbjerg kit, because I know it probably made your eyes burn, looking at that one. Big up to you, Steve. To be serious though, Dave, I really don't get with Hojbjerg when they don't acknowledge his passing ability, because when you give Hojbjerg time and space on the ball, I think he can hurt you. I'm not saying he's, the best passer in the Premier League, in those sort of positions, but he does have that nice sort of kind of ball over the top. He can dink it, over the back line. He can play passes between the lines. He has those nice switches of play. And again, it's not like it's the best in the league or anything, but he is good enough that he will hurt you. I even remember times last season where you looked at some of his stats under really, again, sort of defensive, conservative managers where he didn't have as much of the ball as other players around the league or anything, but he was a pretty efficient player. He was registering some of the most progressive passes, some of the most passes into the final third. Remember that one stat, Dave, where he was beating De Bruyne in through balls, for half the season. I mean, Hojbjerg, again, he's not the best in the world or the best in the league in any regard, being able to, really dictate the tempo like Bissouma can. I'm not saying in any way he's as good as Bissouma, but when he's given time and space, when he does have his head up, he can pick out good passes that can get moves going and can find his teammates. Even some of the goals that Kane scored under Conte and from Jose, a lot of times were actually really nice sort of, passages of play from players like Hojbjerg who were able to play those passes into him. And then the rest of the players did the work. And I just feel like Pierre, he's not going to be able to, spin his man and, pull off those turns and, those beautiful, sort of progressive runs like Bissouma does with the ball. And he will need help when trying to, be put under pressure. I think Hojbjerg more than Bissouma does. Bissouma almost needs no help at all. But when you give him time and space, I think Hojbjerg can hurt you. And I think he's going to do that today.
I think so too. Jack, I'll just quickly, before we move on and let the others in, do you think you might lose a bit of, that what Bissouma has in terms of getting on the ball, driving at people, beating people, taking them out of the game in terms of dribbling?
Yes, absolutely. And that's what I probably should have said that better with what I meant by he needs help in that regard because he's not able to receive it on the half turn nearly as well as Bissouma does. Bissouma almost invites people to put pressure on him, and then he'll spin you and turn you, and then he'll actually kind of catch you out for it. Whereas Hojbjerg, he doesn't want, somebody, on him. He doesn't like it. He's always looking, over his shoulder because he's one of those guys that doesn't have the confidence to take it past one or two men in his own box or in his own penalty area, right? He would rather have that sort of time and space, maybe, sort of set himself up a bit easier than Bissouma does. So there will be that sort of loss and just Bissouma being able to, almost take it out of a press or being a one-man press breaking machine. Really, that's what Bissouma is. And Hojbjerg's never really been that, as much as I love the guy, he's never been a one-man sort of press breaking machine. And in case Fulham do decide to put him under pressure, if that's part of Marco Silva's game plan, when Hojbjerg receives it, he will need help from guys like Madison. And he also himself will need to be brave and he'll need to be smart on the ball.
Yeah, definitely. Look, it'd be interesting. I think, he will look for other people to maybe, get on the ball and drive. But I agree with you, Jack. I think in terms of passing, I'm hoping we see Zinedine Salzburg tonight. And we definitely need him.
Good slow man techers, every now and again, Dave. He can hit you with, one of those Zidane sauce turns. But yeah, he's slow. He can't always do it like Bissouma does. And we'll be missing that for sure. You're right.
Dermo, do you think we're going to miss Bissouma tonight? Can Hojbjerg step up?
Look, I'm a big fan of Hojbjerg. Always have been, always will be. I think I've always been a big supporter of him. Yeah, you are going to miss Bissouma because of the driving forward and the dribbling. Yeah, of course, that's the Hojbjerg's game. But you've got somebody that's come in you can depend on him. He will put his foot in. He will put his body on the line. He'll be there encouraging the players around him. That man, for me, is like the modern day sort of poor version of Graham Roberts. The way that he goes about, he's proud to wear the Tottenham shirt. So Hojbjerg will come on, he will give 110%, and he won't let anyone down. And I think that's what you need coming in. Yeah, of course we're going to miss Bissouma because Bissouma is a brilliant talent, and he's opening it up for us in that midfield. But
how big of a drop off is it between him and Hojbjerg?
I think there's a bit. I think the dribbling ability is going to be a drop off. That's going to be a miss. But Hojbjerg's passing ability, I've said it. I've seen passes Hojbjerg does. I've seen Glenn Hoddle do, and I've said it on this channel before. Look, I think Hojbjerg is very misunderstood as a player, and I think for me, I think he deserves more credit than he gets. I really do, because I think for the players under Conte, under Mourinho, under Nuno, he was one of the few players that stood up and wanted to be counted. When the other players were carried away and hide behind their mother's skirt, he was the one that stood up and said, right, I'm a man. I'm going to try my best here. And that's what you want. And that's what you want in a squad. That if you do get one of your best players defenders, you've got somebody to come in that you can depend on. And you can depend on Hojbjerg. And I'll back him all the way to the bank because I think Hojbjerg is a terrific player. Yeah, Bissouma, better than Hojbjerg, yeah, in every way. But if you want somebody you can depend on, he's the man. And look, I'm with Jack. Hojbjerg all the way. I think he will do the fine job tonight, and everyone will be singing his name afterwards.
Sorry about that. Sorry.
No, absolutely love it, Jacko. It's a great song, by the way. Hopefully everyone enjoys it when we do play it at the end. But yeah, look, Dermo, it'd be interesting to see how he gets on tonight. He has to have a good game. But look, Philip, I'm going to switch the question slightly for you. Hojbjerg, of course, by all means, it seems like he wants to leave because he wants to be playing first-team football. How big of an opportunity is it for him today to maybe change, Postecoglou's mind that he can't fit into this team? He is a first-team player. Or do you think it is just coming in just because, and he's suspended and that's all you'll see of him? Or is there actually an opportunity for Hojbjerg to stamp a claim on the team today?
Well, there is an opportunity, but bear in mind we've got Benton coming back into the frame in a couple of weeks' time, probably. So the demand for places or the competition for places in that midfield is going to be serious, and that's great for us. I mean, look at the combination. We've got Bentancur, Bissouma, Papassar, Hojbjerg, and Skip. Okay, now Skip is probably the least of them, but yeah, he's going to come in. It's obvious he wants more football, right? And my worry is he can see with Bentancur back, he's not going to get it. He's going to be a bit part player. Like he's coming in tonight because Bissouma's not there. Like we all know that. He wouldn't be playing otherwise, right? That being said, he's not going to drop in quality that much. He'll give his life for the team. That guy will. I'd love to have him in the trenches beside me if it was that way inclined, because he's that type of guy. I love him to bits, I think, but I have a feeling he won't be a Spurs player come January, because
I disagree with you on that, Philip. I think he will be. I think he will be, Philip.
I hope he is. I don't want him to go down, but I'm just saying, if you've got Bissouma, Bentancur, and Papa Sarr as your midfielder, plus Madison, where's the room for Hojbjerg?
Yeah, but if you lose Papa Sarr and Bissouma, right, you're going to play Hojbjerg and Bentancur. They played well together when they did play well together. They complemented each other.
I'm thinking his agent might be coming along and say, listen, Juventus want you. Let's go.
Well, if Juventus want them, that's fine. He ain't going, because I lock him to the Tottenham training ground. I'm not going to let him out.
Along with the Romero.
I will, yeah. I don't think Mia will have him, but I have to disguise him as Romero's twin brother to get him in there. Look, if anyone should go in January, it should be Skip, because I think Skip is the weakest out of that midfield lot.
I remember saying that, 6 months ago. It was very unpopular at the time. Everyone told me I was deluded.
Yeah.
Paul Mark, where is he?
You play Bentancur and Hojbjerg play well together. Bissouma and Sarr play well together. That is your four midfielders that you want to keep at the club, because you can trust all four of them. And this hate on Hojbjerg, he can't play in the Nanj system. He can't do this. He's there to sit in front of the back four and break up play and give it to the players that can play. That's his job, and that's what he will do. And he won't go, because Ange will want to keep him for that, because there's no way Bentancur is going to come back. We're going to have to see how he comes back and what way he comes back. And if he has another injury again, and you let Hojbjerg go, then you're left with a Skip. So what do you do? But I don't think he will go. I want him to stay. And I said, if he does go, I'm going to lock him to the training ground. He will not be able to move.
It'll be interesting to see what happens there. Good to see you two guys having a debate. Absolutely brilliant. Love that. Martin Knightsbridge, though, is weighing in on the conversation. Big up, Martin. Hopefully you're keeping well, and hopefully the young lad is, off work today so he can enjoy the game as well. Jack, he says, I think play Pierre-Emile Hojbjerg for the next 2 games and give him a little run and give Bissouma a rest before the Chelsea game.
I agree, Martin. And also Bentancur seems to be coming back sooner rather than later, and you could give him a run at some stage before the Chelsea game. I don't know what his sort of trajectory is, but he's playing and, making some lovely combinations in the midfield. And I would like to see what Dermot was talking about. I think Bentancur and Hojbjerg had a good relationship at one stage, and they were actually a good, solid 2-man midfield. And even though the Conte sort of system had it where, the midfield would get overwhelmed at times just because it's only 2 guys, in there, but they could hold themselves, on their own. And they did have matches where they really were just supreme, on the day, and being able to get stuck in, drive us forward, win the ball back, play nice passes to break the lines of the opposition midfield. And I'd like to see Hojbjerg and Bentancur sort of together again in some sort of role in this midfield 3 with Pop Sarr or Gio Lo Celso. Even just saying Gio Lo Celso as sort of the number 10, Bentancur as either a box-to-box or a number 6, or Pierre, it doesn't really matter. I just think that would be a good 3-man midfield, and you wouldn't complain about that too much as sort of the alternative, backup, quote-unquote, sort of midfield. Those are pretty serviceable players, and guys that in a way probably think that they do deserve playing time, maybe more than they're actually getting right now. And I just feel like I'm happy with Hojbjerg as the backup. I think he's a fine backup compared to maybe what other teams might actually have, in their service. So Martin, I hope he takes advantage of these 2 games, because he's not going to really get too many opportunities until January comes up, and he could end up, leaving from there. But let's hope that he uses these 2 games and, is the professional that we know him to be. At least I know him to be. He's been a good servant to us. He's been a professional as well. He plays a decent, he does a decent job at playing different positions, either box to box or kind of playing a bit deeper. So I hope that he proves me right today. Big up to Martin.
Big up, Martin. Look, when it comes to Hojbjerg, I can understand why he's divisive, right? He doesn't do all the flashy stuff a winger does, or an attacking midfielder like James Madison does, or a striker, right? But what he does do in midfield, there is a need for it. Someone that's always available first and foremost. How many injuries do we carry at Tottenham? And it's not just been the last couple of seasons. It's just been my whole life supporting Tottenham. We carry a lot of injuries. Hojbjerg's always available. You're talking about a guy that, you know, doesn't have any problems with manager or looking to come out and play a piss poor to get a manager sacked. Regardless of the manager in the dugout, you've got a guy that's going to go out there and perform when you call upon him. And that reliability to a manager cannot be understated, to have that sort of reliability. But also, in terms of Hojbjerg, I agree with what the boys were saying. I think, look, obviously, is he a player that's going to elevate someone beside him? No. We've seen that when he's had Harry Winks beside him, when he's had Ollie Skip beside him. He doesn't elevate them guys. Look, I'd argue, you know, not even not even Zinedine Zidane would elevate them guys anyway. But, you know, when he's put beside someone who's on his level or better, like a Bentancur and people like that, he is a good player to have in this team. And I think a lot of people made Hojbjerg maybe a bit of a scapegoat last season because they didn't want to blame a Dyer, because they didn't want to blame a Sanchez or a Hugo Lloris because of how long they've been at Tottenham. That's my opinion on it. I know a lot of people probably disagree, but you know me, I like to light the bomb, put it in there and, you know, blow things up and let everyone go crazy with their opinions and have a go at me. So go on in there. But for me, that's what I see. You know, I see a lot of energy towards Hojbjerg, but I didn't see that energy towards Dyer, Sanchez, Lloris, and people like that. But I don't think Hojbjerg is as bad as people are saying. I think Dermot's right. We should be keeping him around over an Ollie Skip. When you look at an Ollie Skip, he's not good enough to be at Tottenham. It's called a spade a spade. But look, I'm sure we'll have plenty of discussions over Hojbjerg.
Yeah.
Just very quickly on that, Dave.
He'll come up again, definitely, at some stage, especially after how he plays tonight. You know, we'll see how he plays tonight, and he will definitely be in the conversation still. For sure.
Just one last point. Just one last point on that, on the Hojbjerg thing. You are right to say about a Dyer and a Sanchez and a Hugo and the Skippy as well. We always look for an easy excuse when we're blaming players, where we blame managers instead of blaming the players. But there is a reason we overplayed Hojbjerg, for one reason, because he was dependable. He was always the first one on the team sheet. And that was a reason why, because he was dependable and he did his job. Where the other players failed around him, he was always rose to the top. Just because we've got a decent midfield now doesn't mean we have to discard somebody that has been over good for us over the last 2 years, that has stood there, who I actually have asked to become captain. And I still stand by that. I think there's a captain material in Hojbjerg. And look, love him or hate him, he's done a job better than Dyer, Sanchez, Hugo. How about blaming them players? How about showing them they've let us down, and the players that have done in the past? Let's stop hitting on Hojbjerg. Let's hit on the real players. That
look,
let us down.
I do fear that it could be a Harry Kane situation where Hojbjerg's already made his mind up. But look, let's wait and sort of see about it. But look, interesting discussion. Steve D, you can come back. Nia, you can come back. Now
He timed it well. He timed it well. He must have went on a good one. He must have went to the shop, Dave, you know, just down the corner, and then just came back just in time.
Like
Steve D, I think it was around like 5 to 10 minutes, around 5 to 10 minutes. We were pretty well behaved, I think, for the most part, Steve.
He was probably looking at his watch thinking, hang on, the lad stopped talking now. Hang on, I'm bopping on there. I said,
he's probably made himself a nice Sammy or something like that, you know, before the game.
Do you ever see that KFC ad where you see the person sprinting back with the big bag of KFC during the game? That's what Steve D's like during the pump up. Hojbjerg's on. Yeah, and Al Benny says, nervous watching my team for years. I'm worried. I'll be honest, Al Ben, I don't share the same worries. Look, part of me does worry that I'm so cocky and confident about today. I don't share the worries. The only worries I do share is coming back off the international break, how long it's going to take us to click. You can guarantee Ange Postecoglou will not take this game lightly with him being blamed for the Carabao Cup game. You know, players wanting to go back top of the league. I do think it's a bit of a different man. No one's getting itchy. It means he's going to have a row. That's what they say. Who wants it? Who wants it? But, no, seriously, though. You know, I'm not nervous, and I know it's probably a dangerous place to be. I've sort of had my ass beaten with this before, but I do feel a revenge mission on the cards tonight. I'm actually more nervous about the Palace game. I think I'll be feeling more like you, Al Ben, for the Palace game rather than tonight's game. Anyone else want to have a say on Al Ben here?
I think, Al, to be honest, Ange has broken Spursiness in a lot of different manners. It's the resilience that we've had in games, our ability to come back as well. some of the sort of curses that he's overcome that are such, typical curses with Tottenham Hotspur. The manager of the month curse, players of the month curse. There was another one that he broke, I think, as well. That was pretty funny. He's breaking curses left and right. A lot of sort of typical kind of Spursy moments. We've actually somehow survived, even when lucky. We've actually been able to survive them, due to luck or due to our own hard work. So I would say, Al, no reason. I think always can be nervous. I think you definitely have every right to be nervous before a game. But I'll be honest, I think slowly and just been breaking down kind of the typical Spursy sort of, defeats and the typical sort of ways that we sort of unfold and, kind of end up losing our heads. He seems to be chipping away at that and building a better sort of mentality in general.
Look, for me, I'm not worried at all. The only thing I'm worried about is will the Fulham bus get there on time? Because you know what they're like in Fulham. They're probably using something out of the Flintstones, right? And they have to lift the bus up and run with their feet with Wilma and Betty behind them shouting at them, keep going, lads, keep going, lads. That's the only thing I'm worried about. And will they know where to go?
Team exercise, actually.
Yeah, it might do. And will they know where to go? They might get a bit lost, Fulham. So, yeah. But look, don't worry. Spurs are going to win tonight. It's Tottenham. We're not Spursy anymore. I hate the word Spursy. I've never liked the word Spursy. I never want us to be Spursy. We're the mighty Spurs. That's it, pure and simple. Fulham are going tonight. They're going to come there. They're going to get annihilated. We're going to walk home with 3 points, and Philip is going to be so delirious. He'd be doing sliding on his knees at full time when we win.
Well, I'm hoping to be eating cottage pie tonight. A bit of brown sauce over the mash, and away we go. Cottage pie.
That sounds good, Dave.
But look, Philip, I want to come in off the back of this Alban super chat here with maybe another question about maybe being nervous. Is he right to be nervous? Because when you actually look at this season, we've only dropped points in London derbies. Arsenal away, Brentford, and we lost the Carabao Cup game to Fulham. It's the only place we've dropped points this season.
They're all away games, though. All away games. Maybe something to do with it. Yeah, I mean, there's an element of nerves about every match. You never know. I'm just going back to the England versus South Africa match rugby match on Saturday. I was saying South Africa were going to absolutely crucify England. They didn't. Look what England should have won that match.
Yeah,
but there's no game is an absolute gimme. You've got to have a certain amount of nerves about it. I think the first 10 minutes of this game will probably settle our nerves or increase them. The Spurs come out of the blocks quick, which I hope they will. I don't think Fulham are going to come at us because Fulham have a very poor scoring record this season. They've only scored a goal a game over the whole what they've played. So, I think we've got to be confident. Naturally, a little bit nervous, but a couple of early goals. And look at Luton. If we'd have scored those 2 or 3 of those chances early against Luton, we'd be sitting with our feet up watching the match for the rest of the game. But we weren't. We were a bit behind the couch for the second half. I don't want that to happen tonight. Take the chances early, kill the game off, and happy days, and we're 2 points clear at the top of the league.
But there was something that came out of that Luton game. It proved we could play. There was a different Tottenham in that Luton game.
Exactly.
With 10 men,
we would have lost.
Yeah, we would have done. And this is where the confidence and answers come in, especially with Fulham tonight. We've got a steal about us. We have something of a mentality that we will never stop, as he keeps saying. But even going down to 10 men didn't bother us. We just played the same way. And that's what tonight will. I agree with Philip. The first 10 minutes probably will be vital. But I think if we can get an early goal, I think, we'll win it. Even if we win 1-0 in the 89th minute, I just want to see a good performance. I don't care. I will take a 1-0 win any day of the week. But as long as we see a good performance and them trying, that's all I ever ask of a Tottenham side is give their all. That's all I ever have asked them.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, Alban, I don't know whether you should be nervous or not off the back of that. I'm telling you not to be nervous, but then I brought out our record against teams from London. It's the only place we drop points, and Philip says there's no easy game, so hopefully let us know how you're feeling now after all them answers. Big up, Alban. Just want to say big up to Jamie Gitt joining us. Also, big up to Paul Brown. Great to see you in the building, my man. Also, Darren Caban, great to see you. And also Lee Neri as well. And then there was one more I had in my mind. I can't remember. Yeah, there it is. Spurs GCTV. Great to see you. And as well, Paddy Higgins, member for 17 months, lurking before kickoff. Hashtag game day. Hashtag come on you Spurs. My man, I think, we're all very, very excited. The four of us on the panel and the 380 people out there also tuning in. It's great to see us,
Dave.
At these times. God, Jacko?
Just everybody, you got to listen to this. Paddy Higgins has one of the best superstitions and is apparently sort of, he used to join us on watch-alongs, but he's sort of, I'm not going to give it away too much, but he's just got a few superstitions where he sort of like dips into the pre-match build-up, says a little bit of a hello, sort of then dips out. He's just got this superstition that he feels like has been really working for him. And, I think he's willing to part ways with it once it, subsides or once it, ends. But Paddy, I know what you mean by that with lurking before kickoff. So really appreciate you. And he, in the comments, he gave us an amazing explanation, for his sort of behavior around game day and everything like that. If you go back to one of our members only, it's in one of our members only videos. Yeah. It's in one of the members only videos. So Paddy, I know what you're talking about, my man. And also as well, when it comes to the fantasy, I think he's coming for you, Dave. I think he also said that as well, that, he was right on your tail and he's probably going to be passing you, pretty sometime soon. So a few things from Paddy Higgins that he's alluding to there. Big up to you,
Paddy, don't worry about that. I'll be top of that league by the end of November. I've set myself a date. So that's going to happen. But also, Paddy, send me over them images that you used to send me up before. I like one for Van de Ven would be awesome. Maybe one for Big Vic would be class as well. Let's get them going again. They were good fun, Paddy. Big yourself up, man. Great to see you in the building, brother. We also have Steve D says, just because the Pierre Hojbjerg is finished. Big up, Steve D, my man. Really appreciate it. Look, we have to talk about it. He probably will play today, so we have to talk about it. And Adrian Chia says he's there to provide escapism to reality.
Yeah, I really liked what he was talking about there, that football can be, an escape, for a lot of people, no matter what's going on in the world or no matter what's going on in your own personal life. You can use that as sort of an escape for 90 minutes. It doesn't, wipe away any of your problems clean or anything like that, but it just gives you something else to think about, something else to just sort of, occupy your mind with. And we all need that in life, whether it's football or something else that sort of gives us that sort of escape or relief. And I think everybody needs something that does that for them. And I think football seems to be a common sort of way to be able to achieve that for a lot of people. And he's totally right. Like, you find yourself, when someone, it could be an own goal in the 90th minute by Joel Matip, and you'll still turn around and, be shaking, the person behind you, that you've never even met before and things like that. He's totally right. Totally right. I thought it was absolutely spot on sort of comparison or analogy he was using. Big up, Adrian.
No, he's absolutely spot on. Big up, Adrian, my man. Really appreciate the support, brother. Absolutely top man. We've got a few questions. We're going to start dishing out one each to the boys as we go along. Please, everybody, get your answers in the chat. As you've seen so far today, I will bring them up as we go along. It's a great way for you to engage with us if maybe you want to make it stand out. We all like being, stand out sometimes. You can do that via membership. You can do it via super chat. You can also do it via like, subscribe, and sharing. So feel free to hop on that. But look, Jack, do you want to say anything else, or we move on?
No. I'm not sure. Okay. I wish I had something else to bore people with, but no. Take it. Give us a good question.
I love your sense of humor to both people. That's brilliant. But look, there's a lot of talk about James Madison today. That we really need him to step up. I will go into Sonny after. But with James Madison, all these goal involvements for Tottenham in the Premier League this season, believe it or not, have all been away from home, scoring 2 and providing 5 assists. Despite, do you know what, Philip? I'll go to you on this one first, my man. Why hasn't Madison done anything at home yet?
Well, we played 5 games away and 3 at home, so the percentage-wise, he's done more matches away from home. It's purely coincidental. I don't think there's no real reason behind it. It just hasn't happened. It will happen. It'll probably happen tonight.
Yeah.
And it's been a revelation really for us. I mean, look at him at 40 million and other players for a club who shan't even mention for 105 million. It's a superb bit of business by Spurs, and he will come good at home. I hadn't actually realised that he hadn't done any create anything at home. It's not from want of trying, but he will get there, and I wouldn't worry about it at all. Wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah,
It'll
yeah.
happen.
Look, it's not. Yeah, it's not something I'm going to worry about either. I think he will break that. I think you make a great point that we have only sort of had 3 home games this season. But you know me, Philip, I'll go above and beyond to pull these stats out. You know me, I sit there for hours in the evening, trying to come up with maybe unique talking points. But
he did provide an assist in the Shakhtar Donetsk game. So he has done it at home.
Fair point. Well, that doesn't count. It's not a competitive game. I mean, my granny would provide an assist against Shakhtar in a pre-season friendly. But I do take your point. Sir. Dermotron, how important is it that he steps up today in the absence of Bissouma? Because he's going to be the man everyone's looking at today to really sort of grab the game by the horns.
Yeah, I think he will. I think he's going to relish this. I think he relishes the more jobs he has to do, the more that's put on him, and that brings the best out of him. I think he will step up tonight. I think he will have a blinder tonight. And as Philip is right, he's had more away games than home games. So, out of law of averages, he's going to play better away from home. But look, he will do it at home. He's a class player. We bought a world-class player. He will do it tonight. And come on, Madison. Make us proud because we all know you can do it, man.
Did everyone see the video of his baby with the dart?
Yeah.
I tell you, I was looking at the child. I was like, what form for his age? He could be a professional. You might see him on the tour.
Did you see the one about the rice cakes? She was asking the wee baby, who do you like? She was trying to say, come on, you Spurs. And what do you like better, rice cakes or Spurs? Rice cakes.
Oh, it's absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I love how coy quickly Madison is becoming. Jack, last question on Madison. Despite how brilliant the guy has been, though, could he have scored more goals this season?
Yeah, I would take a hot take and say, even though he only has had 3 games at home, I can totally recognize that. I think Madison has been, in a way, I wouldn't say wasteful with the chances that he's had, but I think he could have scored more goals, actually. I think he has he's played incredibly. Like, he's played 10 out of 10 so far this season. But if I were to say, there have been a few chances that he's had, in the final third that I actually thought he would have done better with. I can point a couple out and, at home that I think have happened that I felt like one of them was, I forget if it was Sheffield United or another fixture where it ended up being a pretty close game. Madison sort of was driving, through the midfield, through the final third, all by himself with the ball. And he had either, an easy passing option or an easy shot. And he just sort of ended up just sort of hitting it straight into the keeper. Even in our most recent match, it felt like maybe he could have scored. I get that was away from home, but I don't know. I feel like if I were to take a tad bit of a hot take, even though he's had, I think, a perfect start, I think he's probably been, the guy that we desperately needed in that midfield. I could say maybe he could have probably finished maybe a chance or two, maybe more this season, despite, being, like I said, practically perfect so far. Maybe he has been a tad bit wasteful.
Interesting hot take. People in the chat, let me know, do you agree or disagree with Jack that maybe he should have had a couple more goals? But look, I do think he'll step up tonight. You might even get that home duct off his back. Now, another player I do want to talk about is Sonny. I've seen a lot of maybe discussions around how fit is Sonny. And look, if we're being brutally honest, we've all been watching football for a long time. Despite Ange Postecoglou saying Son is fit for today's game, you got to question how actually fit is he. He's definitely nowhere near 100% fit. Every time he comes off for Spurs, he's wincing in pain when the cameras are shooting him on the bench. Same when he played that full 90 minutes against Vietnam, which I think is disgraceful, by the way. I think there needs to be better communication between South Korea and Tottenham on how to manage Sonny, and for the best for both, for the national team and for Tottenham Hotspur. And look, the reason why Ange Postecoglou will never come out and say, yeah, look, I'm going to give Son a rest today, or he's not fit, and, I'm going to go with someone else, because no one else is really going to pick up them goals if he ain't there. He's our main target man. But look, I suppose the question is, Jack, what would you do? Because you've got 2 games within the space of 4 days. Surely Sonny ain't going to be fit for both.
No, I don't think he is going to be fit for both. I think we're going to see some clever game management by Ange Postecoglou, or we're going to have to see some clever time management and, game management in his case. I don't think he was really given much of a rest at all. Some were even saying he wasn't even really spotted in any of the training videos or anything like that. Maybe he's been sort of kept on ice as much as possible to be preserved, for these upcoming games. I feel bad for the guy. He really is sort of, used, to his fullest extent by us as well as by his national team. It's not like the England team where, you have, all these other brilliant players, around you that can step in like James Madison had. He is, the main man for his national team, Sonny, and he's going to be used as much as possible. So we're probably going to see him I think we're going to see him start no matter what. It feels like Postecoglou probably just wants to start him so that he could maybe get some early goals with Sonny. But if we're still sort of desperate for goals, or if we need something else, he's probably just going to take him off because he doesn't feel like it's worth risking him, because he does look like he's pushing himself through some pain, of some kind. Because anytime he gets taken off, anytime that we see him after a game, it looks like he is battling through some type of, knock or injury of some kind. But Philip, I know you do have to go soon. So what are your thoughts on sort of Sonny? Do you think game management or, player management is what's key here?
Yeah, I mean, I know he didn't play the first match of the international break, but Klinsmann played him the entire 90 minutes. I did read a comment from Sonny somewhere that he said he couldn't go back to Korea and not play before his fans.
Yeah.
But 60 minutes would have been enough, I think, rather than playing all 90.
Yeah.
I think what's going to happen, Sonny is going to he'll play every game. I say with maybe shortened versions of every game, because he is an inspiration to the team. And I can't see him not starting a game, but he'll be taken off maybe earlier if his fitness isn't right. The guy wants to please everybody. I think that's just him. He's just that type of guy, but I think his loyalty should be more to Tottenham at this stage than to Korea, because we pay his wages. I know he's a big, huge megastar in Korea, but we pay his wages. I think we're the ones that should get preference, really, But I think he'll play tonight. He'll play 60 minutes, and maybe bring Johnson on instead of him.
Interesting. Well, look, Philip, I know you said you have to go at 5:45 at 17:43, my man. So we'll let you bow out now. I mean, but before you do, I just want to say it's been an absolute pleasure to have you back on. I really do enjoy your input on these pre-match build-ups. So thank you very much for giving up your time this afternoon. But look, where can people find you? Why do they need to get over and follow you? And what's your score prediction?
See that fella there? You can find me with him. Where is he? No, it's the wrong way. That way.
Who's me? I've never met you before in my life.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know who you are, but your name's
Stranger Danger.
We're doing a watch along tonight for the game, which could end up anywhere. We talk about everything during these matches, so not just those things. We'll be doing a roundup tomorrow of all the Premiership games over the weekend, and then on Thursday, doing a European roundup, Champions League roundup, and also a preparation for the big game on Friday against Palace. So you find us THSC till I die. Give us a like, and I'll see Dermot later on. And thanks for having me on, lads. It was a pleasure, absolute pleasure.
No, look, it's great to have you back, my man. I really do enjoy speaking to you about football. You know that, my man. So great to have you back. But look, you better get off, and you should get in trouble.
Work gets in the way of football now and again, but tonight's one of the days. So.
We don't want you to get sacked anyway,
No, I can't sack myself. Right.
See you, Philip. Thanks for coming.
See you, Jack. See you, David.
See you later, Philip.
Good man, Philip.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Absolutely great to have Philip on. Please do get over and check out the Two Boys channel, by the way. Great input here today, and, very, very funny on their channel as well. So please do get over and check that out.
I still don't know who he is, Dave. I don't know who he is. So, he thinks he's linked to my channel, but I don't know. I've never seen him before. Yeah, I only met him about 5 minutes ago. He's a bit of a, he's got a bit of a cheek.
We'll have to give you a whistle, Dermo. We'll have to give you a whistle. Stranger danger.
Stranger danger.
Did we take this from Martin Knightsbridge where he said Matters is going to be?
I don't think we did.
No.
Martin Knightsbridge saying Matters is going to be the magician tonight. I mentioned this earlier, Martin. I think Madison's actually going to need to realize, as much as I gave Hojbjerg a bunch of praise earlier, he's going to probably need to drop deeper, perhaps be that sort of extra help that I was sort of alluding to that Hojbjerg will need when being put under pressure, or if any time, sort of Fulham are, making it difficult for us to really break them down. Madison can't just really expect Bissouma to do what he does and just taking it, like I said, past 2 or 3 guys and opening up the team with a beautiful pass. Like, it's going to need to be Madison actually going to do that more often today. So I would say his creativity game, both around the final third, but also sort of in those deeper areas when kind of building out from the back, he'll need to be sort of switched on with. He can't just sort of expect to be kind of the floating number 10. I think he needs to be really helpful in sort of the genuine build-up play today, because Bissouma's not back there, his partner in crime.
I 100% agree with you. I think it was the Bournemouth game we end up having to do that, right? Where Madison had to drop deep down more, almost to left back, to pick up the ball and start sort of progressing it. I agree with you, Jack. I do think there might be an element where we might have to ask Madison to do that at times today. For sure. So it's definitely something we need to look out for. Martin Knightsbridge, I hope he is the magician tonight, my man. Magician matters. We definitely need a bit of that trickery tonight. Exactly. I want to see one of these celebrations right at the end. Do you know what? One of the days when I feel like Madison's going to score, I might actually paint up my face as a dartboard. Just get ready for his celebration. That'd be absolutely epic. Imagine that as a clip. That'd be awesome. Bullseye, big red nose on me. It's red all the time anyway. So, I don't even know if I have to paint that. But definitely think I'll be up for that, Martin. I wonder how many people we can get at home to do the same thing. That would be absolutely awesome. I'm going to have my say on Sonny, and then Jack has an absolute corker of a question in here that I want to get onto between Carlos Vinicius and Richarlison. But just on Sonny, I understand, the cause around maybe having to rest them and stuff like that. The harsh reality of the situation is we can't. He's our goal getter. He's our main guy up front. No one else seems to be chipping in with the goals at the minute. And not chipping in with them, but not what I mean is chipping in with them regularly enough.
Most clinical in the team.
Exactly. It's not happening. And you take Son out, who's going to get us them goals? Because the reality is, when we came into this season, Sonny through the middle was not the plan. He played out wide for the first couple of games and played out wide preseason. And we started with Richarlison up front, but Richarlison just wasn't giving us what we need. So he ended up adapting and moving Son inside. So fair play to Postecoglou on that. He adapted. But that just goes to show to me that he is heavily reliant on Son up front. And look, I thought the whole reason why we were selling Kane was so that we weren't reliant just on one player and everyone else would step up. That has not been the case. So that's why we need to play him. We need to have him up front because he's going to be the guy more than likely that's going to take them chances. I think for me, it's just about managing them minutes until we can get him fully fit. Now, we don't have Dark Sun G today, but this is something I do want to ask him maybe later on if he's around. Son hasn't actually been fit really properly for a whole season last season and the start of this year. How long is it going to take him to get back to full fitness properly will be very interesting to know. But look, the sad thing is we just can't afford to rest him. I don't know what you think on that, Nermo, but I'm of the opinion we can't. As much as he probably, for his own good, we probably do need to, Darmo. I just don't think we can afford to.
I think it brings up the argument we need a striker. We should have had somebody in to replace.
Sure, everyone told me all summer long we didn't need a striker.
Yeah, that's not the point. I'm still sticking by that we don't, because we have enough goals around us.
You just said we do.
To cover. Yeah, but the point is at the moment we don't. That's the point I'm making. We've got enough players around us to cover that. Madison and Kulu and Johnson when he's playing Solomon. We've got enough players around to cover us. But we can't drop Sonny because Sonny is our captain. He's our main player. He hasn't been fit for a long while, which has been a shame, really, because I think Sonny is an inspirational player. And if you look at him playing 90 minutes of career, which I think is criminal, that is absolutely criminal. He should have been taken off after an hour. I'm sure nobody would have minded. But look, till we get that striker in either next season or the January or next season, somebody's going to come in doing 20, 25 goals a season. You're going to have to rely on Sonny. So you're going to have to treat him in kid gloves. Wrap him up in cotton wool. If he doesn't, there's plenty of players, guys, that Ledley King never trained all week, but still played the blinder on the Saturday. He did some light training. So maybe we're going to have to start doing this with Sonny. Give him light training and then get him ready, get him there for Saturday. But what worries me, if his injury keeps going on and on and on, will it come and bite him in the ass at the end of the day? Will he retire early because of this injury? And it's a shame because everyone loves Sonny. And Philip is right when he says he wants to please everyone. I think it's time Sonny just pleases Tottenham Hotspur and himself, not his dad, not his fans in South Korea, not the South Korean manager, Tottenham and himself. Look after himself. That is the main point.
Yeah, look, I think there has to become a duty of care at some point for sure, whether it be the club take that or Sonny take that.
Look, Dave, look, on the other point as well, on the striker point, look, I was at the start of it, we needed a striker. I listened to Mir and other people saying we've got enough goals around, which their points do make sense. I've always said we're going to need a 15 to 20 goals a season striker, but Charleston's never going to be your man to do that. So we do need somebody to come in and probably give Sonny a rest. Probably give Sonny, bring him on with 20 minutes to go. Or bring him off for 20 minutes to go. We need that. We do need to buy a striker either in January or in summer next year. And we've got to spend big. We've got to get a decent striker up front.
I agree with you. I think the reason why I think we need to spend big on it is I think we'll all agree Richarlison, unless he does something super up between now and January or between now and the end of the season, is he going to be the guy to lead us forward beyond the Son era? Because Son's 31. He's going to be 33 very, very quickly. So you do have to spend big. And I know a lot of people say, oh, but 100 million, but it's 100 million on a player that you might have for a decade. So over the course of the decade, it actually works out around cheap enough. But look, I think the club did maybe miss an opportunity by not bringing in another striker in the summer transfer window. We're getting away with it today. I really do hope we can get away with it till January. But then the question comes in January: what club's going to want to sell their star man up front without a premium behind it? So you might have to delay it until next season. So look, there's a lot of variables around it. It's definitely something I'm going to have more conversations on anyway, because the reality is, I know a lot of people are maybe suggesting other people would step up with 15 odd goals, but it's not the case. It's just not the case. And I do think it is something that we might have to reevaluate come January transfer window, but that is discussion to, come December, early January. Jacko K says, big up lads and Dermo. Fulham going to sit back and hit us like Sheffield United. Will be a tight one. Matters is key. Son could get crowded out. Hojbjerg will stop counters. Where do you want to start with it? You take some and I'll take some.
Fulham, I do feel like will sit back and they will have an organized defensive shape. Probably is similar to Sheffield United. Will it be exactly the same? I'm not sure, but it probably will be a similar sort of kind of setup, and that they might engage with us in sort of the first 10, 15 minutes, maybe try to catch us out a little bit with some intense pressing, but eventually they will sort of set up in some sort of kind of shape or some sort of kind of organized type of formation that caused us problems last time, Kay. It really did. And we really struggled to break it down. It seemed like they would sort of wait for us to reach the halfway line. Once we sort of established ourselves inside sort of their half, they would engage with us, and then they just sort of forced us backwards pretty much every single time. And we're going to have to find a way to, move the ball quicker, break the lines of that, sort of a defensive shape more. And it will be interesting to see which players sort of step up in doing that. Pedro Porro would be a big one. Udoji will be a big one. You have also Madison, of course, like you say, there is key. But yeah, I do rate Marco Silva. I actually think he's a good manager, especially in the way that he seems to set up his teams defensively. He can get a good result. And away from home, they've actually been all right this season. I think they've played some decent teams and gotten either close to a good result or have gotten a good result out of it from, defensive, organized football. And Joao Palhinha as well is a good defensive midfielder. He can cover a lot of ground. They have good defenders in Tim Ream and other guys in there. I like their fullbacks. I think they have good, solid defensive fullbacks. So I think they will cause us problems defensively, but not as much going forward. I think they lack a little bit of that sort of going forward. They don't really have much product.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think, look, sort of letting, like us there, well, not like us because we've got Sonny, but them letting Mitrovic go, I think was a huge, huge mistake. And Raul Jimenez just doesn't have that same output since, unfortunately, he got that head injury, and it sort of is coming back to maybe bite them a little bit. But look, I do agree. I do think their approach are very similar to Sheffield United, and
they're better defensively than Sheffield too, because Sheffield have started to kind of really become undone. I think more, whereas before they were, I think, pretty good in how they set up. But now I would say Fulham I mean, Marco Silva has done better than almost any other Fulham manager in the past 4 or 5 different tenures with, playing this sort of defensive, kind of survival type of football. And he's done quite well with it. So it's not going to be totally easy compared to maybe other sort of defensive teams.
No, it definitely won't be. And I do take the point that Son could get crowded out as well. I mean, look, me being brutally honest about it, I think, against Luton, he was sort of crowded out a lot of the game. What was it? Liverpool, I think he was crowded out for large periods of the game. Sheffield United was another one. There are cases where Son has been crowded out, and I do think that is something that we need to maybe look at and work on in training, that when we do come up against these teams that will sit back low and where that space isn't behind to put Sonny in behind, we have to find another way of being able to create chances for Sonny, whether that's Sonny maybe moving out of the middle and running off the side of one of the defenders, in behind that way, or dropping deep, looking to get on the ball and maybe run at them himself and use his skill and his pace. But we do have to find another way, because with Son, I'd also argue, is as good as he's been for us this year, he hasn't scored any goals outside of what he would usually score for us. Balls in behind for him to run onto, to put into the back of the net. And he was doing that off the left-hand side for Tottenham anyway. But it is, and I'm only saying this because it is something that's going to crop up more and more. The more we win, the more teams here struggle against low block teams, the more teams are going to employ that setup against us as we come up against them. So it is something that we do need to get ahead of on how we maybe create a little bit more for Sonny. Because although we're creating a lot of chances, when you go back and look at the chances we created, a lot of them are shots from, the edge of the box and stuff like that. We're not creating maybe as many clear-cut chances, and I think that is, again, something we have to work on. But I did say Postecoglou would have headaches, all preseason when I was looking at it. The wing situation wasn't quite right. I think a lot of people still look at it now and say it's still not quite right. So there is, something we need to work out going forward. But I will say Ange Postecoglou was making the best out of what he has at his disposal right now, until we can maybe fix the options come January, or even maybe, Gil coming back might provide something. So we'll wait and see on that, Kay. But great super chat, my man. Really enjoyed that one. You set me off on a tangent there, my man. Big yourself up. Derma, I want to throw a question at you. Big up, Kay. Really appreciate support. And also, Trending Spurs, good to see you in the building. Derma, I want to throw this question at you. I know how fond of the 60-61 side you are. Mm-hmm. So 6 wins and 2 draws is Tottenham's best record after 8 league games of a season since 60-61, when they won their opening 11 league fixtures en route to the title. Can we emulate that 61 side, Derma?
Why not? I think we can. And look, everyone thinks Dermot's deluded. He's smoking something funny. He's drinking something. He's on something. Look, we have been so starved of success that we'll take anything. But this is the best team I've seen in a long time. This is better than the Poch side we had. And we didn't even have this sort of start on the Poch. Why can't we emulate the 60-61 side? Why can't we? To dare is to do. Isn't that our motto? Isn't that what Tottenham Hotspur is all about? I tell you, Bill, or to David's to do, or to Davy do. Yeah, I am. Dermot has lost the plot. Look, but the point I'm making is we can do it, and why not? Did everyone say before the 60-61 season, when we had that great start, were they saying then, we can't win the league? Tottenham are not going to win the league. We haven't won the league for 10 years. We haven't won a trophy since 50-51. And we ended up doing the double. Why can't we? Let's believe. Let's get on this train. Even if we don't win the league, let's get in for one hell of a ride. We're guaranteed Champions League football. To dare is to do. That is the Tottenham motto. Why not? Come on, you Spurs. We can do it. And I think they can.
And just off the back of that, even if we don't emulate what the 60-61 side went on to do, at least we're on the right track. Yeah. The fact that we're sort of bringing up stats or on that path is a good omen and a good path to be on. You look at the vibe around Tottenham, senior team smashing it, under 21 team obliterating it, top of their league. The under 18s top of their league, and the women's league, our team as well on top of their league. So the club is on the right trajectory, and being compared to the 60-61 side, absolutely fantastic. At the end, we will let Dermot pay his tributes to the great Bill Nick as well. Of course, you know, it's his anniversary, died today, this day today in 2004, 19 years ago. So
and
you know,
also
huge respect to Bill Nick.
And also the great Sir Boba Charlton as well, who passed away over the weekend as well.
Mm.
Another giant of the game as well. Look, Dave, I've just got the stats up here with the 60-61, right?
That was quick.
Yeah, I always have them ready. You know, our first defeat was on the 12th of November away to Sheffield United. After that, we were unbeaten again to the 16th of January, till we lost 2-0 at Manchester United. We had so many games of going unbeaten, but we can do it. Why can't we do it? Why can't we not turn up and think Tottenham can win the Premier League this year? Leicester did it. Did everyone say Leicester couldn't do it? When Tottenham won the league back in the early 60s, did everyone say they're not
right
Spurs?
here, Dermot, I think is why a lot of people maybe are saying that we can't do it is Ash, big up Ash. She says, I think the men's team doesn't have the depth to win this season, but the women's team does. So we might see a trophy nonetheless. But I think, you know, the first part of that as well is, you know, that's probably why I think a lot of people maybe are saying we can't do it is because of the depth.
Yeah, but
of the squad.
Yeah, you could use that argument, and it's probably true. But I don't agree with it because when Tottenham won the league, they won it with 14 or 15 players. Yeah, I know football's different between then and now. I get that. And football evolves, you know, over the decades. But we can do it. You don't have to, as long as you manage your players properly, train them well, and give them the confidence to go out and do it. Bill Nick always said, you're not playing for yourselves. You're not playing for me. You're not playing for the owner. You're playing for them people that pay at the turnstile, that pay your wages. That's who you're playing for.
Postecoglou has said something more or less similar about the fans and that as well.
That's why I'm saying I can see a bit of Bill Nick and Postecoglou, and this is what exciting me. I can see a bit of Keith Birkinshaw in Postecoglou. There's something brewing there. We're brewing something at Spurs, and why the hell can we not match the 60-61 time? Why can we not win the double this season? We've had enough negativity, enough downwards, enough people putting us down. Well, it's time to push back and say, fuck you lot. We're Tottenham Hotspur. We're coming back, and feck you. Nobody's putting us down here. You don't put Spurs in the corner.
I agree with that. I agree with that. I hate the way everyone else talks about it last status and all. You know, if this was a child in the playground, it'd be classed as bullying. You know, look, I wear it as a badge of honor, to be honest with you. And I agree with you, Dermot, on that wholeheartedly. You know, F the rest of them. You know, let's just enjoy what we're doing. And why can't we? You know, the whole thing with football is about dreaming. You know, that's it's the dreams. That's what lured me to football. Looking at David, again, some luscious locks running down the wing at White Hart Lane. You could tell he was on that Just for Men or Head and Shoulders, good products only in that hair. And, the dream of Tottenham one day can defy all the odds and go on and do it. That's what it was about. Go on, Dermo.
Can I just say, the players used from when we won the League that season was 17. 17 players were only used in that 60-61 side. Bobby Smith was top goal scorer with 28, 33 goals with Les Allen, Cliff Jones, all in the 20s. The most appearances were Danny Blanchard for 42 appearances, down from Ron Henry, John White, Les Allen, Morris Norman. 17 players were used to win the league to do the double. 17.
Yeah.
I know football's different to now, but why can't we not do it again? Let's believe. Let's get behind this team. I've had enough of negativity. I want Spurs to do the double this year. Come on, you Spurs. Sorry.
Love that.
I've got wrapped up in it. Sorry.
No, absolutely love it, Dermot. You know me, I've been preaching it for years now. Everyone else laughs at Tottenham and everything else, and I always just stick up the big middle finger to them. Thomas Wynn says, hi guys, new subscriber here. Personally, I think a title this season is a bit out of reach. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Just enjoy the football we're playing. But as title goes, no for me. Jack,
Thomas,
Thomas,
I think it's probably fine to it's probably fine to not be on the sort of the title train, but I think everybody has to agree with what he says right there, that, just enjoy what we're doing and enjoy this process because it is going well. We're clearly headed in the right direction, and Spurs are sort of from top to bottom starting to look like an actual real football club and actually look like they know what they're doing, finally, and have some sort of direction and some sort of future that looks positive and looks bright. And that's what we can all agree upon, whether we think titles are happening this season or not. Certainly we can disagree over and have good debate over, but I don't think anybody can disagree with Thomas, in that we just sit back, enjoy the ride, enjoy the train. The train has only just left the station, and we're still we're buzzing with what we're seeing so far. Love it, Thomas.
No, 100%. And look, Thomas is probably more on the realistic side of it, and he's his prediction here is probably going to be the one that pans out. But Thomas, just to explain, I'm one of these fans. Until it's mathematically impossible, I will dream and I will believe. I'm just one of them sort of fans, just so you know where we're at from the off, so that you don't get surprised halfway through or anything like that. I'm just one of them eternal optimistic people. But big up, Thomas, my man.
Can I just say, Thomas is probably right, but you and me, Dave, are the most delusional Spurs fans on YouTube.
Oh, don't put me in your category, Darmo. Don't put me. I'm going to answer. We are. We definitely are.
We are. And I think Jack's quite close behind us as well, actually. As my missus calls him the lead singer of Coldplay. She says you're a spitting image of him.
I think Chris Jack's actually very level-headed. He keeps me grounded a lot of the time. Yeah. So he keeps me grounded.
My missus was watching you guys one night, and she told me she didn't know who you were, Jack. She knows who you are. She went, he looks a bit like Jack. There, you can hear yourself there. Say you got your biggest fan there, Jack.
And nobody likes Coldplay, so it's good to see that somebody likes me in some way. That's nice to hear.
I like Coldplay. Good band. Just quickly, the Outlad says, boom, Dermatron is on fire. Someone called the fire brigade, put them out. That statement will reverberate around the world. You just don't get this on Sky. Boom. That's why I'm here. Absolutely love it. Look, this is the thing. Look, you'll never see someone like myself or Dermot, on a, well, maybe Dermot actually, but you'll never see someone like me on a Sky or a BT or, maybe Talk Sport. They're a bit better just because of the way I speak, the way I come across, and stuff like that. I'm not trained or anything like that. But look, this is why there's a place for these fan channels on YouTube.
I want to say a massive big up to Mr. Harris. What a legend that man is. I really look forward to today I meet him. He really is a legend. And look, I get infectious from your son, who infects you, gives me the opportunity to come on and absolutely talk out on my backside with being delusional as more than he is. But yeah, I love it. And why can't we not support our ties? Why can't we not support Tottenham Hotspur? Why can't we not shout from the rooftops, we're Tottenham, we're proud to be? We shouldn't be afraid of it. And then players need to realise we are Tottenham Hotspur, us the fans. It's not the players, the owners, the managers. We the fans are Tottenham Hotspur. And that is it. Yeah. And it always will be. Tottenham Hotspur is made by us, not by Enoch or Levy or any manager. We are the fans. And the day that Tottenham dies, the day us fans die, that will never happen because we're going to be going on forever. Sorry.
100%. And the one thing I will say is that we provide a platform that Sky and BT never wanted to provide fans in the first place. Where fans can come on and share their thoughts, no matter how delusional, how realistic, or even, whether, they see things that are wrong with the club. That's what these things are all about. So if you do enjoy that, smash that like button. Punch that subscribe button without breaking your screens, preferably. Me and Jack will not be liable for any damage there. And feel free to throw in a super chat or grab one of them channel memberships.
They will.
And find the greatest secret community that is going out there and grab one of them channel memberships and become a part of it. Now, we are going to move on to Jacko's question, which I think is an absolute cracker. We'll take this. I've got a great song for you all that Tim Winstone from Spurs Song Sheet wanted me to play you all, wanted me to promote it out there, so make sure you stay for that as well, and then we will be ending off. But I want to get on to Jacko's question, which I think is a cracker. So, you lot remember the days of the Europa Conference League where we had Carlos Vinicius. The only goal he scored in the Premier League was from 4 yards out. I mean, my niece would score that from 4 yards out. But Jack, he's former loanee, could start today against Tottenham after his loan spell. Plenty of Spurs fans call for us to maybe spend the money on him and bring him in on a permanent basis. do you think, do you miss Carlos Vinicius, or are you glad that we avoided that one? And also, would you rather Vinicius or Richarlison?
I don't miss Carlos Vinicius. I do miss, he was a loyal member, though, of the Large Man Striker Club, which I, of course, am, the president of, a big appreciator of any man that's, large and a big number 9. Love the big number 9s. But Carlos Vinicius was sort of your very much certified donkey, sort of up top. He really wasn't all that much. He was just a big physical sort of brute, that you could hit the ball into. He wasn't half bad, actually, in the air, really. I think he is sort of a good physical kind of, striker. But yeah, I don't really miss Carlos Vinicius. I don't miss those conversations of, Carlos Vinicius as maybe the backup for Harry Kane for the future. I sort of understood why we went for him that year as sort of like a backup, to him in the Europa League. I felt like it made sense at the time, and considering, sort of, his up and coming, sort of season with Benfica. But I am glad that we avoided him. Am I glad that we got Richarlison instead? Probably originally I was, because I was a big backer of Richie, and I'm still trying to back Richie. But to answer the real question, I would, if I had to pick between two underperforming Brazilian number 9s of Carlos Vinicius and Richarlison, I would pick Richarlison still. But yeah, I definitely don't miss the days of Carlos Vinicius. I don't miss those conversations. Those conversations were weird, talking about rationalizing, buying a 30 million, like journeyman striker. And, Dave, like I said, a big appreciator of the big number 9s. No one appreciates a big number 9 more than me, but Carlos Vinicius was not it. And I'm glad that we got somebody else. Richarlison made more sense, but we paid a whole lot more money, and he probably, has really failed expectations, and has done only as much as probably what Carlos Vinicius would do. But I still would pick Richie over Carlos Vinicius. It's a hilarious conversation, a battle of underperforming number 9s. It really is.
But look, let's be honest about it. Richarlison had them Europa League against Europa League games against
he would have scored the same amount
from against Wolfsburger from Austria, and shit teams like that. I mean, Richarlison would bag a hat trick in them games. So I mean, look, I found them conversations very weird as well. I mean, what are we, Fulham? No, we're Tottenham Hotspur. We should be aspiring better than someone like Carlos Vinicius. I would still take Richarlison over him all day long. The guy can't even get into the Fulham team, so I suppose I won that debate. In the long run, just had to wait it out and see if he could get in that Fulham team. He doesn't, so I guess that's another green tick on one of my boxes. But Dermo, where are you at with it, my man?
I agree with you. Them discussions back in the day were just weird. It was them discussions where you've put to the back of your mind in thinking, I don't want to go back there because it's a bit weird and a little bit
funny time. It was
funny time and a little bit of, if somebody was heard me talking about that, would they lock me up in the local asylum?
We were a mess back then as well.
Oh, we were. And then we went out and bought Richarlison, who is no better than Vinicius, to be fair. But I will back him because he's Richarlison, and I love Richarlison. I think he's lovely. But Richarlison isn't your man. But if I had to pick the two, I agree with Jack and you, Richarlison. But please do not talk about Vinicius. I've got the member white coats coming to the door to take me away. Do you think I've lost the plot?
They both have good celebrations, though. Like, I liked Carlos's, Mbappe celebration.
It's embarrassing.
I don't know. They both. I genuinely.
The fact that he whips it out once a year, it's embarrassing, to be honest.
I probably was a bigger sympathizer for Carlos Vinicius than most were, but yeah, what a time as a Spurs fan that we really were talking about buying this guy for 25 million, on these channels and everything like that. I really never got it. I really never did, and I'm glad that we have all this context and hindsight now. But yeah, everybody, if you were watching us back then, throw back to the days of Carlos Vinicius and throw back to the days of Spurs fans debating, whether we should buy that guy or not. That was just a funny time.
We can only apologize.
The Outlaw says Vinicius is better than Rich. He scored against Marine.
It's a tough one. Carlos Vinicius. Yeah, he really did. He really did show Marine. What the Premier League is all about. But yeah, I don't know. Richie, I think he is a better player than Carlos Vinicius. The funny and sad part is, though, he hasn't exactly done very much stats-wise to really show that he's that much better than Carlos Vinicius. Let's be fair. But
to be fair,
I do think he is a better player.
To be fair, we haven't really bought really good Brazilian strikers, have we?
We're missing with the
Brazilian players in general.
We're better with the Argentinians.
I think what happens, right?
Lucas Moura. Gilberto. You know, are we going to add Richarlison?
No, hang on. Lucas Moura does not deserve to be in that bracket because
he was useless.
He did, but he got to a Champions League final, and look, he done better than what the other ones have done. To be
fair,
he
is the best of those mentioned. That is true.
He is the best of those. But it's like when Brazil scouts send us something from Brazil, right? They put Pele's head on their body, and we think we're getting a world beater, right? It's a bit like Maradona. To stick Maradona's head on somebody's body, we think we're getting a world beater, and look, we got the Celso and Richarlison. Yippee! I'm
Honestly,
ready to break it.
When we sign a Brazilian, I'm expecting, I get flashbacks of R9, Ronaldinho. I'm expecting to see that. And then I look at it and it's like, you could have bought Seamus from Donegal.
Yeah, we get the wish Brazilians. We get the wish Brazilians every time.
Like, we signed Richarlison. And I'm thinking, I'm going back to Zico and Jorginho and Pele and, all them great players of the past. And then you see Richarlison missing an open goal and you're thinking, I'm going home. Fuck this. I've had enough.
Love it. But guys, we will take this from Martin Knightsbridge. I want to play a song for everybody and then we'll get everyone's quick score predictions and then we will end it off there. Myself and Jack will be here at 7:30 to continue on the great vibes for the watch along. So hopefully we see all 390 of you back for the watch along and enjoy the win with us. We are great crack along the way when we're winning, so make sure you tune in for that. But Martin Knightsbridge said, Jacko on Richie, the saying goes, if you love them, then let them go.
There's so many things that I stand up for, that I sort of fight for, that I probably give too much of a praise for, that really don't deserve it. Martin Richarlison happens to be one of those. I'm going to continue to fight for the guy. I'm going to continue to battle for the guy. I do like going on my Richie runs. He gives me that extra bit of motivation because, you're thinking about a guy who's going through a tough time and, you're trying to battle up yourself through the hill, through the extra mile on your run. And you just use that bit of Richie motivation. You don't need music when you got Richarlison. But yeah, I'm starting to, I don't know. I get a little bored, or not even bored. I get a little sort of tired of using a lot of the same lines to sort of kind of defend the guy. He doesn't really, probably deserve or really, get much defending anymore, but I'm going to continue to back him. I do think he's a good player. It's just that he hasn't really worked out for Spurs, but he's a hard worker and he's tried his best, I think, to do well for Spurs compared to other guys in the past who really didn't seem to really try all that hard to try to get themselves back into form. I don't think you could ever fault Richie's, efforts. You can never fault his efforts. Sometimes the end product, though, doesn't really seem to work out for him, but love Richie, love his attitude, love the character. But I'm not going to let him go, Martin. I'll probably think about that, though, for something else that I probably stick up for, or something else that I end up sort of rationalizing that I don't really need to rationalize or stick up for. And then I'll just learn to let go.
Love that, Martin. Absolutely love that. Brilliant saying. And then Tony Austin, Sandro, he's one of the only Brazilians I did like that Tottenham side. But look, we are going to play this song just for anyone out there, the YouTube gods. Tim Winstone, Spurs Song Sheets, has sent it specifically for me to play today. I do have full permission, so let's bring it up, Jacko. He wants us to give this a belt. It's an absolute cracker, Dermo. You're going to love it. So we'll take ourselves off screen. We'll bring it up for you guys. Hopefully you enjoy it.
He's with me, he's Sonny, part of our family. Sun is flying, leading us with his pace, and that smile on his face. At the lane, we're all crying. He's in my hand, Sonny, 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 he's in my hand.
So there you have it, guys. That is Tim from Spurs song sheet. That is to
That was a banger.
Cranberries Zombie. Absolutely great song. I love it. I think it's an absolute belter. If he scores tonight, I will be singing it. But look, we will go around the houses. Please, everyone, put in the chat what you think of that song. But look, we'll start with you, Dermo. Just quickly, my man, what's your score prediction? Where can people find you, brother?
I'm going for a 4-0 win tonight. Going for a Hojbjerg, and I'm going for a Madison with 2, Hojbjerg with 1, and then let the gods decide who gets the 4th one. And also, if you want to find, you like what I have to say, and you want to come over, please come over to THFC Till I Die, the home of Tottenham, past, present, and the exciting future we're going to have with me, and of course, Mr. Philip Brady, the lovely Mia, who comes on with me with shows with her go completely sideways and never end up talking about football. I want to end up with this quote. Now, I've got a few up from the great Bill Nick, and may we all remember him tonight as the greatest manager ever to manage our club on his anniversary of his passing, and also spare thought also for the family of Sir Bobby Charlton as well. Big Jack's younger brother, who we love over in Ireland, Big Jack Charlton, who we lost a couple of years ago. Please, he is a man. Bobby Charlton is one of the biggest names in world football alongside Sir Bill Nicholson. So, look, give a thought to both families and send our thoughts and prayers to both families on both anniversaries and the passing of Sir Bobby Charlton. But I want to end you on with this quote. He says, "It's been my life, Tottenham Hotspur, and I love the club." That is Bill Nicholson, one and only. And we all love Tottenham Hotspur. Come on, you Spurs, and big up, lads. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely love that.
Smashing job, Dermot.
Well said. Very well said. Everyone, please do get over and check out THFC Till I Die. I can't even remember that line. He mesmerized us all with the past, the present, the future. Brilliant line. But Jacko, score prediction on you, my man.
Excellent work from Dermatron and Philip today. It really was nice to have them on. So everybody do thank them in the live chat. They did a great job. And big up to Tim Winston as well from Spurs Song Sheet. I really like that one, actually. I didn't expect that, sort of tune and that sort of chorus and everything. I really did like it. So big up to Tim. Score prediction. I'm with you, Dave, on sort of the big and bold. I've gone 3-0, 4-0. I'm feeling one of those. 4-0 seems like fun. I'm gonna say 4-0. I'm gonna say 4-0. Probably will end up being closer in some sort of regard, but somehow I just feel like Spurs, if they grab an early goal and if they do have their finishing boots on, there will be chances today. And if we just take our chances, and if we do end up being more clinical than we have in previous games, I could see this being an easy game. Some of the times we've said where we gotten lucky, like against Luton Town and everything, yes and no, because it's like there were so many sitters that we ended up not taking that we should have absolutely buried, and then we would have been 2-0, 3-0 up inside 20 minutes in some of these games. So if we end up doing that today, I could see us having a very fun day at the office and a good Monday night for us Spurs fans.
I really do hope so. I think, we deserve it as a fan base with some of the shit we've had to endure over the last, few years. We really do deserve to have these sort of great nights. Hopefully Tottenham are in all white under the lights tonight. That is going to be an absolute spectacle. No better time than seeing Tottenham in the all-white kit under the lights at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It is going to be magical. The fans are going to be up for it. They're going to be well-oiled and pumped for today. We win. We go back top of the league, 2 points clear with a chance of going 5 against Palace on Friday night. The good times are back. As Adrian Parker says, we do have the reincarnation of Bill Nick in Ange Postecoglou. So much respect to Bill Nick for what he done for this football club. Some of the great quotes he came out with that we still use to this day, that we hold to a standard at our football club. So, massive respect to what Bill Nicholson has done. Hopefully we can get the job done for him tonight. Massive respect to Bobby Charlton as well. Sad to see such a legend of the game go. But guys, that is it from us. My score prediction quickly. Do you know what? We've had a good show today. I've really enjoyed it. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. I'm on a good one today. I'm feeling 3-0 tonight. Go and get the job done nice and early. Let's get Sonny off, get him rested for Friday. But that is it from us, guys. Hopefully everyone has enjoyed today's show. I've really enjoyed it. A massive thank you to Dermot, Philip, and Jack for their contributions today. A big up to myself for putting it all together. Great job, Dave. And we will see you all back here at 7:30 this evening. Join myself and Jack for the great vibes again for the watch along, where I promise you guys a win. As always, come on, you Spurs. In Ange we trust. And the last thing is, and this is what I live by now, we never stop. Let's
Statue
go,
for
Tottenham.
Richarlison.
Revenge mission. Back to top of the league. See you all. So 7:30. Remember that. 7:30. Be there.
7:15 for me.